Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. I'm just Banana live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. The Titans were back on the field today for the second day of padded practices. Quarterback Cam Ward spoke to the media afterwards and was asked about how he feels where the offense is at this point in camp.
I just think we're very mid right now, from my position to up front to the receiver's position. But at the end of the day, it all starts with me. I just don't think we're at where we need to be, but we got a little bit of time. And so every day we get better as a whole. We're a young team, but that's no excuse. At the end of the day, we got to come with the right mindset every day and come to work.
In NFL news today, Bills' first-round pick, cornerback Maxwell Harrison, who left practice with a knee injury yesterday, had tests that revealed he has an LCL sprain and could be back in as few as 3 weeks. Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy, who also left yesterday's practice after banging his head on the ground, is in NFL's concussion protocol, according to Coach Andy Reid. Also, Tennessee football was back on the practice field today for the first day of fall camp, where the quarterback battle runs on, with Joey Aguilar making his first throws in a Vols uniform. Boo Carter was also at practice for warm-ups, but did not participate in any drills. For your foundation repair water improvement needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Happy Hump Day. Hump Day.
Well done, Mayor.
There she is. She's Dawn Davenport, y'all.
Hey, happy Wednesday, people.
Look at here. Look at here. Look at here. Babs Prize Closet will open.
Oh, it will.
In the 5 o'clock hour.
Oh, yeah, it's Winning Wednesday. I forgot. We pretty much give away something every Wednesday. Looks like it sounds tickets today.
It is.
Cool.
It is. So stay tuned for that coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We've got a busy day. Day 2 in pads for the Tennessee Titans. I was out there. You were out there. The biggest news, though, in terms of reporter appearances was Baby Babs in attendance.
She was there.
At Titans practice. She was a big hit. Everybody wants to talk to her.
Yes. It was funny because when I told her that she was going to go to football with Mommy, and we had to get up at 6 a.m., she, I think in her mind is only used to going to football games, not practices, obviously. And so she was like, well, where are the stands? Who are we cheering for? I said, well, see the guy in red, number
She's
one?
So funny.
That's who we're cheering for.
Yes. And he had an up and down day today. But you know what?
We'll talk about it.
We will. What's interesting about him is he keeps the same mindset no matter what's going on. And we've talked a lot about that. And he has no wasted moments. When he's not in a drill or repping, he's talking with his two guys are Lockett and Ridley. To talk with them. Mm-hmm. And he talked about it after practice saying, communication is key in terms of what did you see on this route? What did I see on this route? What could we have done better there? And kind of talk through those things. So, from a statistical standpoint, Cam Ward may have a rookie year like any other rookie. Maybe he surpasses that. Maybe I don't know. But I do know that dude is intent on being the best he can be. And being the best teammate he can be, and communicate in the best way, and the furthest way that he can with those guys. So that was cool. But so Baby Babs have a good time.
She did at about the hour and a half mark. She was done.
Yeah, I turned around at one point, y'all were gone. I was like, okay.
Well, we went back upstairs.
Oh, okay.
So, because it was shaded up there. So, where we were watching 11 on 11, because that was the main thing. I'm like, all right, listen, Baby Babs.
I need to see
Mommy has
girls.
to watch this. And so I pointed out, I was like, look at number 1. That's the quarterback. That's Cam Ward. Like, watch him, kind of thing. So then, anytime Cam Ward was out and they were running 2s or 3s, she's like, well, where's number 1? Where's number 1? I don't want to watch this. Where's number 1? I'm like, I feel you. Because Mom kind of feels the same way, but everybody has to get reps. So, so we were right in the sun because she didn't want to leave from the line of scrimmage. I was like, we can go down further down there and it's shady, so it won't be as hot. And she was like, no, we have to watch right here. So I was like partially kind of proud that she wanted to be right there at the line of scrimmage. But then I was kind of like, God, the sun is so hot right here.
Sun is beating down on my baseball hat.
Yes. So she enjoyed it. And can I say this too? Props to the Titans for like the upgrades and fan experience and all that for training camp, because we went upstairs to the SeatGeek area, which is where Ramon and Will broadcast every morning. And T-Rack was there. They had, bagels and muffins and water and everything, a little mini team store, cheerleaders there to greet you when you walk in. Just as a whole, definitely
Very
up their
cool.
game. The Titans have definitely upped their game a bunch. And so she enjoyed it. And there were other kids there that she would talk to. And so very cool. Anybody that gets to bring their kids out or gets to go watch. The Titans have done a good job of making camp more of an experience for fans, Good stuff.
Slay Dog is here.
In the building.
So I think Slay will appreciate one more little baby Bab story out there. Coach Mack and I were talking. I go, "Hey, Coach, look over here." And he turns around and there's baby Babs and Dawn. And so who's Dawn? Babs says, "Baby Babs, that's Coach Mack." And she goes, "Hi, Coach Mack." And then I wave at her. She goes, "Hi, Mr. Brent." And so Coach Mack says, "Baby Babs, you can come. You can come on this side of the ropes." And she was like, "No." And he said, "No, you can. I told you can." And Babs apparently had told her, like, we're not going on that side. And so she wasn't going to do
those
it.
ropes.
So then I look at Coach Mack and I go, if Slay was staying right here, she'd come.
We get
That's
over
true,
here on the
yeah.
other side of the ropes, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's like, Mommy said no.
She was on the ball out there.
She also might want to come back because she got ice cream for breakfast at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Like the minute we walk in, it's free ice cream. And I'm like, do you want to do it after when we leave? That would probably be a better idea. Oh, no.
Ain't no way.
8 a.m. ice cream.
Yeah.
Let's go. Sugar rush.
That's what I'm
Just
talking
what
about.
I need.
That's how you give a real fan experience.
Yes.
Kids will
Yes.
never forget that.
And
She will
then
never forget that.
she did see Ramon. Ramon tried to bribe her and give her money. And she's like, no.
See?
And I had told her, I said, that's Uncle Slay's brother. And so later when we walked downstairs to watch Field Level, she goes, Mommy, that was Uncle Slay's brother. I'm like, I know, I told you that.
That's right.
She was so proud that she knew.
What's funny, there are certain things that we bring up on the show ever so often, and that's one of them. That every single time we do this, there are people that did not know that Slay and Ramon are brothers.
This is true.
Like real brothers.
Like real
Savage
ones.
and Savage.
Like it's
In the
blood
beginning,
there.
I just thought it was like, yeah, my brother,
That's my brother, yeah.
my guy.
What up, bro?
Oh, no, they're real brothers.
I say brother a lot, too. Like, what up, bro?
Yeah.
But that's the real brother.
So I saw
Very true.
we were practice was over. We were going over to the interview area, and I was walking behind. I was walking up on Will Bowling. Shout out Will. He had a birthday not too long ago. What is he now? 28.
28.
28.
Congratulations, to Will.
Youngin.
Yep, and
Youngin.
it was Will, Ramon, and Burke Nihill, and I was like, "Wow, this is a threesome." And Ramon looked at me and goes, "Yeah, we can go play golf, and Mary, you can stand over there and take pictures." I was like, "That's the first thing you say to me today?"
This is what you coming with?
Savage.
That's savage being savage.
That's savage being savage. So, Cam Ward said this after the practice session about the play of the offense so far in camp. I just think we're very mid right now.
Like the honesty.
Would you rather hear it from him as opposed to me?
Yes.
I just think we're very mid right now. From my position to up front to the receiver's position, but at the end of the day, it all starts with me. I just don't think we're at where we need to be, but we got a little bit of time, and so every day we get better as a whole. We're a young team, but that's no excuse. At the end of the day, we got to come with the right mindset every day and come to work.
First team session, he was 3 for 4. He hit Chig underneath, and he hit a deep ball to Ridley in double coverage. That was a great catch. The throw of the day, though. Deep ball down the middle of the field. Perfect. Jaquan Jackson had run past the defenders.
Open. Wide
Cam
open.
put enough air under it. He's really good at, I've noticed this now, he's really good on the deep balls of throwing it early and letting
Run
the
under
receiver run under it.
That's what Calvin Ridley said.
Yeah. Oh, did he? So that's what Jaquan Jackson was in the process. It would have been a touchdown. He dropped it.
Hey, man. All I'm saying is it happens.
It happens.
It
You know
does.
who you can't blame this time?
Cam.
people were wondering because the Traylon Burks jersey has slid down your chair a little bit.
The Burks. Can't blame him now. I don't know. Who y'all going to blame now? Who is it, Jaquan Jackson? Did he take his locker?
Yeah.
Like, what is it going to be now? But, hey, listen, those are the opportunities.
Jumped for that ball.
That's what I was going to ask Zeph. Did he leave his feet for that ball? Is that why he missed it?
No, he went to go catch it and then stumbled and bobbled the ball, and then he fell and the ball hit the ground.
It was a perfect throw, and it was long.
And it was
and strong.
He split the defense on
Get the frictional.
Damn, Babs. Get him, Babsy.
It's a song.
No, absolutely, yeah.
He split the defense like right up the middle. I mean, he had nobody near him. There was nobody within 10 yards of him.
I can't believe it.
That dude can really
I thought it was
run,
only one
man.
person that did that.
I know, but he can really drop a ball, too.
Here we go, Jim.
Right after that happened, he goes, somebody next to me, I forget who it was, said, you know what happened the last time they threw it to him? Offense pass interference.
Really?
And
He was
goes,
the A to Z guys.
Oh, the A to Z guys, yeah. Easton Freeze and those guys. And he goes, you know what they did? You know what happened the previous time before that? Interception. I was like, man, come on, Dad. So he ended up catching a ball later, and we were like, yes, there you go.
A bounce back.
That is.
That's what today's all about.
Here's the other thing, man. If Cam Ward turns out to be Superman, Cody Barton is kryptonite. He batted another ball. McCrary picked it off and took off running. The funniest part about that was, like, Cam just kind of watched. He was shaking his head. He starts talking to the receiver. And when they huddle up an offense, Jarvis Brownley Jr. goes into the huddle, and his head's just swinging at Cam Ward, saying all kinds of things.
Let him know. That's what you're supposed to do. That's competition.
That is competition.
You gotta love that. Gotta love that. That's what, you know what, though? I was talking about Cody Barton. Remember I was saying something about him the other day. Like, some guys just have it, and some guys, to make up for athleticism, compute things differently and quicker. Mm-hmm. I wonder, is he one of those guys like on
Restrepo?
Yeah, like Restrepo. First half could be one thing from film study and him picking up on little ticks in the second half. Because I watched a little bit, just a tad bit of his film from Denver. He was making plays like this. So with more opportunity on a team like this where he can shine on a defense that doesn't have a lot of depth,
remember when
it's a big year for him.
When they signed him and we read about him before we had a chance to like watch film or anything, but he was, what we read was 3 down linebacker. Yeah. He's on the field on pass plays. Yep. He's good in coverage. Yep. And that's exactly what they missed last year at the inside linebacker position.
That's right.
And he has been that.
See,
you know,
I love it. I love it.
Now
he make it. It looks like he elevates the play of James Williams as well, even though he's done the work. I'm not saying that he didn't do the work.
James Williams looks good.
Elevating his
Remember,
play.
Easton Freeze like a month ago told us that he said he thinks James Williams is going to win that job.
Yep.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Sure do.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So remember the guy they signed from that played at Arkansas named Landers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said he sounds like an Arkansas player.
Yeah. So Zeph goes, hey, look at Landers. And I look over there, and Zeph goes, he's 3 heads taller than everybody else. That dude is so freaking tall. He's listed at 6'4". There is no way.
What position he play?
Wide
receiver.
Really?
That was Cam's probably his best throw outside of the one dropped by Jaquan Jackson.
Oh, the one over to the sideline.
Yeah, post corner route by Landers, and there was coverage and front coverage behind. He dropped it in the bucket. But man, that dude is so tall.
So overall, before we dive all the way in, who won today?
Oh, I go defense.
Defense won today again, back-to-back days?
Yeah, but here's the thing. The offense looked good early. They broke off legit 3 long runs that would have been touchdowns.
Yeah.
Legit.
The running backs did look very good today.
Pollard has stood out to me from the get-go.
Yeah.
Well, that and Spears looks injury-free. Like,
yes.
Jim White used the word explosive to me. We were talking about him, he said, yeah, he looks explosive. I was like, it looks like he's dealing with nothing injury-wise. Like, he looks different.
Right.
But Pollard, too. And so what had happened was they went into today's practice when they did a lot of unscripted work where they were calling plays.
Yeah, that's what I was
and that's when the offense started to struggle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when they started to struggle?
The scripted stuff they were doing,
cool.
They were cool.
That's interesting.
So it's actually hard to give an assessment.
So I'm interested to see when it's not situational. Because yesterday it was, they worked a lot on third down, so you kind of know what's coming. So I don't know
They
what
did some of
today
that
was.
today,
Okay,
too.
so
Some red zone stuff.
yeah, like when it's free, when they're in the free fall, I wonder then, like, how those things go.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Let's take a break, come back, and we'll talk more about what happened in practice today. One notable player did leave early. We'll talk about that next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Not 3HL 1045, The Zone, if you want in. 615-737-1045. Coming up at 3:45, I had the chance to talk with cornerback Jarvis Brownley Jr. following practice today. He talks about how different camp is in year 2 compared to his rookie season. He talks about Cam Ward, obviously, what he's learning from Calvin Ridley, which I thought was interesting. And he loves, like all the other guys on defense, trash talking with the quarterback. So he'll talk about that. That's coming up at 3:45. Coach Mack presented by Two Rivers Ford. He was wandering around doing Coach Mack things today. He was focusing in on the offensive line. So I know we've had questions in the chat about the left tackle and various things. So we'll get with him on that. I pretty much hung out. Zeph and I did with. I forgot to mention you were there.
I was there. I was at practice.
What's up, Zephyr?
What's up?
Has it turned into Zephyr now?
It's been Zephyr for I usually do that when I'm on the way out.
Yeah.
All right, Zephyr. But now it's kind of like
turning into the thing.
Yeah. I heard Babs call him that the other day.
No, she calls me Zeffy.
Yeah. Oh, Zeffy.
Zeffy. That's like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Zeffy. Attaboy, Zeffy.
That sounds like party guy, though. Like DJ and serving drinks and all the things.
Could be that.
So,
okay.
What was I talking about,
in the chat. Hold on.
Oh, Coach Mack, offensive line. Yes.
Is what you is.
Oh, I stayed. Zev and I stayed with quarterbacks and receivers. That's pretty much what we watched today.
Okay.
Now, when they did team drills,
That's
you could
what
see
I watched.
that.
Too, yeah. Tim in the chat. Should we be a little nervous since Dawn gave Cam a vote of confidence like she did for Mayo last year? Laughy cry face.
Mayo.
I know Tim's joking, but acting like I'm the only one that bought into Will Levis.
Oh, I did too.
Is nuts.
You were also the first one to say you were worried about the interceptions and stuff.
I was after the Seattle practice. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah, you did.
Maybe we should pump the brakes." I don't know.
Because the previous practice, he had Ridley twice in a row on deep balls. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, "There, something's off on that connection. It's not there."
I think it is pretty noticeable that they're throwing so much more at Cam Ward than they were Will Levis last year. I don't know if that's another adjustment from Callahan.
Yeah.
Wanting to get more live bullets, for example,
or also
before the season starts.
Knowing what he has before the season starts. Like, listen, this is not caution light, install here. It's let's go. I need to know what we have.
Yeah.
So Cam Ward was actually asked about getting pressured from the defense like a lot because, they're sending him blitzes out on him almost every team drill. And he was asked about what that does for him.
I do appreciate it. A lot of stuff we do out here is to the defensive advantages, but that's good for us as an offense. If we can overcome this little stuff in practice, we'll be able to overcome a lot of adversity in the game. But I'm excited. Those guys on the defense side of the ball, they get me better every day. We battle every day in the trenches, the O-line, the D-line. But I'm excited. I'm glad Coach Callahan's doing it. I want it even more. But, I just got to continue to put my head down and work.
Listen. Accountability. I walk away today feeling the exact same way I felt yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. Like the growth is gonna be there, man. None of this happens overnight. But the flashes that we get to see during this growth is what keeps you engaged.
Well, what's noticeable, too, is what you said yesterday, and I noticed it today, too. Like his demeanor at all times, whether he's in a rep or not in a rep. If he's not in a rep, there are no wasted moments.
Yep.
He's talking to assistant coach about routes and stuff. He's talking to receivers about what they saw and what he saw. It's very noticeable that he has no idle time during practice at all. Like he's never just standing there watching.
Also, the command of the huddle, because since I had baby Babs with me, I had to point things out for her to watch, right? Because it wasn't an actual game.
Dude, she's going to know football so well.
Yeah, she was funny. So we were watching Cam in the huddle prior to plays, and you mentioned it, I think 2 days ago, just talking about, or yesterday, the command of that huddle, the confidence, the everything that you expect to see in a quarterback, no panic, the communication, the pointing to one guy, the talking to another, the just clearly in charge and very comfortable with it. Now, obviously, there's some improvements that have to happen after that, but to see that and to watch that should be comforting as a Titans fan from a standpoint of knowledge and making sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'll say that I thought stood out to me today and just watching, and I'm going to be honest, it was hard for me to, really dive in and watch because I had to watch a kid. But I thought Cam held on to the ball too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
especially when he got pressured.
That was definitely an
especially
issue
then,
later in practice.
Yes.
Yes.
Not early on in 11 on 11, but I thought that, and then I wasn't able to see if it was a combination of him missing guys, not hitting them in time, receivers not getting open, the pressure because the offensive line had failed on that, timing. What exactly was the issue for why he was holding on to the ball too long? I don't know. Is it, okay, everything's developing too fast and I'm missing things? I don't know, because I'm not in those meeting rooms. I don't know what his brain is seeing or feeling, but I do know that he needed to get rid of the ball a lot faster than he did.
He made a point and wasn't even asked necessarily about it, but he was like, what I said earlier, what all is going on through his mind about not just knowing the playbook, but being able to communicate the play in a timely fashion to get out of the huddle on time so you could diagnose defense. And then he said, and get the ball out on time.
Yes.
He made a point to say that today.
So
and Callie talked about these 2 days are the first time they really put the play clock in too.
Right.
So before that, you kind of can, take your time, slow things down a little bit. Now play clock's up and running, speeding things up for him. So maybe that's a part of it.
one of the things too, man, you this early on stage right here, guys develop routines. So if you go back and watch the Netflix special with quarterbacks, like all of them have one. I'm watching Jared Goff, man. He was like when he gets to play, but him and Ben Johnson was so at the hip.
Yeah.
Like he kind of would guess the play that he's gonna call, and he would know it. But
isn't that fascinating?
It's crazy.
To watch?
The rhythm that they go through, though, and you also see Mahomes. Mahomes has a tick that he does, and it's always this. Like he does
with his
hands
fingers.
Like, yeah, like I'm bringing. Yeah, I'm like, give me the play, give me the play, give me the play. But he does it every single time.
Whether he's getting the play or not.
Whether he's not. It's like so. A routine has to get. I say that to say a routine has to get developed by him for. When that's happening, it's not necessarily a process, it's second nature, instinct. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
he was asked about bouncing back, and Cam Ward said it's not really about bouncing back, it's about getting better. And he just matter-of-factly said that. So that's kind of where he was on that deal. Yeah, right. Kicker Joey Sly finally missed after making his.
Sly.
He made his first.
You jinxed him.
He made his first 20 kicks in camp.
It's your fault, Mayor.
Literally, it was the last kick. Zev was next to me.
You brought him up all day yesterday.
Yeah.
You mentioned Sly at least 10 times yesterday.
I love his name because I don't think anybody knows who he is.
Does anybody know that the kicker Sly? Hey, the kicker Sly. Sly hasn't missed. Do you know anything about this Sly guy?
Joey Sly.
So right before his last kick, Zev's standing next to me. Jim Wyatt walks by. He's like, "What is this? 59?" I go, "Yeah, he still hasn't missed."
Oh, you really did jinx him.
I did say that.
And it's not like he missed. He doinked it.
It went off the right crossbar.
Right
upright. It went off the right upright. He had the distance.
Yeah.
Man, it was in slow motion. Those long kicks, man, it takes a long time for them to get down there. I thought it was short the whole way, and then
it did look like it was going short, and then it had nailed the upright. So
wide receiver Calvin Ridley left practice early. He was holding his right calf. We are not supposed to speculate on injuries, so I'm not going to do that, but I wouldn't be too worried at this point is what I would say. Team said after practice that he will be evaluated. Calvin Ridley, man, that dude is just different. Like it's exactly,
he just looks different.
Yeah, it's exactly what Coell said a couple weeks ago when he came into town. He said, I forget sometimes a guy like Calvin Ridley looks incredible on tape, but when you come see him in person and you watch the diligence he puts into running routes and things he's a freak.
I've had to stop myself because I caught myself again on Tuesday telling Savage, hey, man, I'm like amazed at Calvin Ridley just watching him run. Like when they do a 7-on-7 stuff, like I'll just literally, I'm not watching Cam, I'm just watching him. His burst, his speed burst, dog, coming out of a stutter or something is It's a real live turbo button that somebody in there is hitting that's making him boost off, and it ain't like just leaving somebody, but the separation is crazy to watch.
And he's in year 7.
That's
you know.
Well, I mean, think about how he reached 1,000 yards last year on that team.
Yeah,
with that quarterback situation,
with that O-line,
with that O-line,
yeah,
which doesn't allow you to get down the field hardly.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, baby Babs also noticed him. She goes, "Look, mommy, why is he showing his belly button?" And there were other guys out there that were too, but no Calvin Ridley stood out.
And then that number
He's
0.
like number 0 right there.
It's like an 8-pack too with that guy.
Right?
He is in insane shape. Like it looks like we were talking about it at practice, like 0% body
I wonder
fat.
what his body fat is. Like it might not be healthy. Like it might be 0.
I know. I'm like, do I tell her that is a specimen of the human body right there?
Not how humans look.
Oh, remember, speaking of the human body, remember Coell said Femi Oladejo was body beautiful?
Yes.
I told that to Coach Mack, and he laughed, and he goes, he's a womb to tomb guy. He just needs reps.
Yeah.
That dude looks incredible on the field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he batted a ball down today. That could have ended up in a turnover. But.
You know what? Listening to Brian Callahan this morning, it stood out to me, him talking about Femi. I know somebody had asked him about Dan Moore in that play from yesterday specifically, but Callie talked about him just being that instinctive guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's got all the physical tools, but, you know, just needs the reps kind of thing. Like he can be something special.
Absolutely. You can see it.
I think Brian Callahan talked about Femi a little bit, and he was. I haven't heard this cut, Zeph, but it looks like we might need to play this one at this point. But it's Brian Callahan talking about Dan Moore stopping Femi.
Yeah, I think the pad part for all these young players, the first time they put them on, but Femi in particular too, is you put pads on, and the way tackles set and the way that they can use their hands, all those things sort of change when you have the pad on, and so. I think he's learning to learn how to rush, and he's learning some new techniques, and so those things are kind of a work in progress for him. But the padded part changes a lot of things for those guys up front on both sides, and I think that's a good thing to see.
You know, it's interesting. They present Brian Callahan to the media before practice.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff, by the time we get on the air, they've already practiced since he made comments. Mm-hmm. So some of the stuff is outdated, but it still makes sense if you follow people on social media and they're tweeting out things or in real time when you can listen to him in real time on 104.5 The Zone. But he did get philosophical at one point. Zev and I were driving out there, and I heard him talking about Cam Ward and the fact that he has no fear of failure.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of players in camp. You know, the just the daily updates and who wins and who loses and who performs well and who doesn't, I think gets in the way sometimes of what we're really after, which is we're trying to develop every day and get better, and we want guys to take some risks with how they play, and quarterbacks in particular make throws or try throws that you maybe not going to do in a game, but see how it feels and see where if you have that one in your bag or not, you know. But that's with a lot of players is you want guys to play fast. You don't want them to fear failure, and we'll coach and correct any mistakes that come up, and the idea is that you don't make them again and you just keep pushing forward. But you want guys to not have a governor on and not have to be worried about making mistakes, because that generally tends to be a pretty poor mindset to try to perform in.
I would think, man, it's super difficult to do that within a young team. Mm-hmm. Because you got to think, man, like an experienced team, a veteran team, guys 8-9 years in the league, like established, like this is to ramp up to get in shape. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And get the rust off and to callous the body and all of that. This guys right now, they're trying to be established and make a name. Like Brownley got that kind of swagger because this is year 2. Like McCreary,
he's still a young guy.
Yeah, he's still a young guy. Like they want that, man. We know who Snead is. They seen what a corner. They can reach out and touch a corner being paid as the highest paid corner in the league. Mm-hmm. That's close to them. So yeah, I want to get established. I understand that. Let's read and get everything right. But coach, if there's a play to be made, I'm trying to make that play. You know what I mean? Like, this is the big boy stage, man. It's hard when you got a young team like that, man.
And also, I mean, if you listen to Cam Ward's press conference today, I mean, he's asked about yesterday and the failure of yesterday. I mean, it's constantly
it's there.
Hit on them too that, hey, you played bad. Hey, you look terrible. Hey, that was a failure of a day. How do you take it? Da, 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 da. So it's just constantly in them too.
I think Zeph has Cam Ward talking about that very thing.
It's not really failure. I work hard every day. So at the end of the day, I think I'll get to my end point where I want to get in football. I just think it's not even a learning point. I've been throwing sidearms since I was 6 years old. I had tip balls in high school, college. I had tip balls here in practice. I'm going to have a tip ball during the season. So I'm not really worried about that. It's about how you bounce back the next play. You just got to keep on stacking good plays on top of each other.
There you go.
His mindset is impressive, man.
I'm all right with it, man.
That's what I was saying earlier. It's
not
like,
really failure.
Look, he's at the end of the day, he's still a rookie quarterback, and he's going to have moments. And statistically, I don't know where he's going to be, right? But like in terms of growth of a player, he's got unlimited ceiling there. He cares so much about being the best he can be, and he also pointed out, and maybe it was Callahan, you can't get where you want to go without having obstacles, without having challenges, because that's how you learn.
Yeah.
So
that's
the impressive part of him.
No question about it, man.
Coming up at 4 o'clock, Coach Mack presented by Two Rivers Ford. We'll probably dial in on a little bit of offensive line there. Todd Furman, preseason football, y'all, starts tomorrow night.
You've been waiting on this.
The Hall of Fame game is tomorrow night. How do you bet preseason football? Todd Furman will talk about that. By the way, the Lions are a 2-point favorite against the Chargers tomorrow night in the Hall of Fame game on NBC at 7 o'clock.
I see. If I would have bet that, I'm only betting the first quarter.
That's what you used to do. Or half. Did you do first half?
Bro, yep. Mm-hmm.
If you go game, you got to kind of look who's got the better quarterbacks, like 2 and 3.
Yep. Can we give a shout out?
Shout out, presented by your mom and him.
Man, we got to give a shout out to our guy Scoop, man. Scoop Richardson in the chat, man. Friend of the show, Jovi. 8 pounds, 9 ounces. Welcome to the world at 1:09 p.m.
Oh,
there you go.
little baby boy.
Big boy, almost 9 pounds.
Man, coming through. Maybe a little deep. We D in, bring him up the edge early.
Yeah, Scoop.
It's a young team.
Congrats, Scoop.
I love
to go, dog.
Scoop always says shout out to Slaves Me.
Yeah.
He said it today before he told us about his baby boy being born.
Before he even said it,
Speaking of your knee, how did you do today at physical therapy?
Man, listen, I came in, somebody asked me, it was like, man, you going to get 120 soon. And I'm like, dog, 118. It was so painful to get to that. I'm cool. 124.
Look,
a cool little 124. You were trying to get to 120.
124.
Can I say what you said?
What'd I say?
With the A word?
What'd I say?
On their...
I was on their ass.
Hell yeah, in town, 124 on their ass, boy. Yeah, I wasn't playing with them. That's one thing I ain't playing with them.
Everybody was high fiving after,
dude.
That was quite a moment,
man. Because I figured out I always knew this. My hips are super tight.
Oh yeah,
and so I couldn't relax. So she massaged my hip before doing it this time.
Oh, so you could get a little more flexibility.
Way to go, Nikki. You evil lady, you. Dr. Rob, you be proud today, brother.
Love it. So you're not ready to play corner necessarily?
With
the locked-in hips.
Yeah. I did do my back pedals today.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't as low as they usually are. So, I probably would have got burnt deep on that one. Yeah, I'll keep everything.
What week of PT are you in, and how many weeks do you have?
Friday will be 5 weeks.
Okay.
Aren't you supposed to go like 16 or something?
Supposed to go 16 completely get released.
Ooh, yeah. Lord.
I'll be easy. Listen.
Don't jinx it.
No, I ain't jinxing nothing. I'm just telling you when I'm gonna release myself. When is the first game? August 22nd, 28th or something? I will be released, everybody. So everybody that's out there, I'm gonna still have my little sleeve on that I got on. I may pull the cane out just so don't nobody bump me. But Dr. Rob, I'm out here in these college football streets, tailgating.
First game's August 30th in Atlanta.
My only thing that
I'm a little nervous Bully to that thing?
I've been Bully trying to get something together for that. My BFF birthday is that week, so I'm trying to juggle some things. But my only thing,
that's Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my only thing is, though,
I'll be
I don't know if I'm able to do my keg stand this year. Because the leg, I don't know who I'm going to trust.
Dude, I'm not.
So
I don't want any part of that.
Gotta go keg stand, though, to make sure you
Can you imagine if I'm a part of, like, holding your legs and then drop you?
I didn't know about this keg stand thing.
Oh, you got to have a keg stand. Yeah, if it's a keg around, you got to have a keg stand. That's your tester. That gets you out there in life.
I remember when Aaron Kinney did one in New England.
Yeah.
And that's a big guy, too.
I won't tell you.
That went viral.
Yep.
I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
Hey.
Big man doing
Aaron
keg
Kinney,
stand.
former Tennessee Titan, by the way.
Former Titan, now fireman.
Tight end?
Florida Gator.
Yep.
We usually see him everywhere, at least twice a year.
Didn't we randomly see him in Vegas?
And did we see him in Army Navy too?
Him
or
and
something?
Julie. They were sitting there playing blackjack.
Yep.
Oh, that's
So I'm telling
What
you.
are you doing, EK?
We've seen them back-to-back years somewhere weird like that.
oh, man.
Somewhere weird.
places.
All right, speaking of cornerbacks, Jarvis Brownley Jr. had a chance to catch up with him after practice. Man, he's good. Check him when we come back. 3HL. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. The executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Also, shout out to Ross, who is going to get Greg Coell.
He gone?
At 4:45. He'll be here from 5 until 6 o'clock in studio to talk about the 2 padded practices.
Should Ross have like a little snack waiting on him when he get in? If he's a real concierge picker-upper?
Shout out to Ross, who's staying like a couple hours longer than his day is here to go do that.
Ross is a real G.
That's a teammate right there.
Don't even.
He's the best.
He cool.
So Greg Coell in studio 5 until 6 o'clock. At 4:45, Auburn football coach Hugh Freeze had some standout things to say today.
Oh, Hugh.
Did you pull that clip?
Which one? I hate that I have to say that, but there were multiple.
There was like a minute and a half clip where he said length and girth like 17 times.
I did not, but I can easily find it.
Yeah, find that.
Yeah,
because I need to say that's what she said every time he says it.
Hey.
I don't know what he's talking. How do you go down that road and not know you're saying weird things?
Sometimes you're getting your head.
I mean, who just uses the word girth 17 times in a minute and a half when talking about football players?
It's Hugh.
Tough one to explain right there.
He also said he told the DC to take it easy on the quarterback.
Like, what are you doing, Hugh? Don't tell anybody that.
Yeah. Who said he's comfortable where he is right now?
He said, I need the quarterback
he told
confident.
me that, but don't tell the public.
He's comfortable in the skin right now, Babs, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Had a chance to, I'm going to throw it to myself here. I had a chance to talk with quarterback Jarvis Brownley Jr. following practice today. He talks about how different camp is in year 2 compared to his rookie year. Talks about the quarterback, what he's learning he individually is learning from Calvin Ridley, because obviously he defends him quite a bit out there. And also trash talking. He loves it with quarterback 1 and more. Here's Jarvis Brownley after practice. Jarvis Brownley Jr. joins us on 3HL. What's up, man? How are you?
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Day 2 in pads. What did you think about today?
Great. I think we started off a little slow when it came to energy-wise on the defensive side of the ball. But you have those days, man. You have those moments, even in games. But it's all about the next play mentality. How you respond after that, how you respond to adversity. And I think we picked it up at the end.
Yeah, it's not necessarily day to day. It's almost period to period where you can pick it up and change things, right?
No doubt. And that's how you got to go about these days, man. Treat everything like it's a playoff game. And man, I think we've been doing a good job of that. And day 2, man, it was great. It was a lot of competing out there.
Yeah.
Towards the end, a lot of energy got picked up. And you could just feel the energy on the field. You could feel it around the organization that something is cooking around here.
You feel like you're one of the guys that can bring up the energy level?
Of course. And I try to preach that in my inner self every day, man. Yeah. That I got a big voice in this organization, and a lot of guys look up to me even when I think they don't. And for me, man, it's just being that energized guy that I know I could be. I know I bring a lot of energy just with my effort and my work ethic, but just the swagger that I play with. So, man, I know if I'm doing that every day, then I'm doing something good. We're moving in the right direction.
A lot of talk about trash talk. I saw you today. I know you like to get involved there. I saw you in the offensive huddle at one point.
Yeah.
What was going on out there trash talking about?
Yeah. We kind of always trash talking. Me and Ken Ward, man. That's my guy, man. But
y'all like the fact that he talks.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do, because it shows you that even though he's a young guy, he's just coming into the NFL. That just shows you how much confidence he has in himself. And that just shows you how much of great of a player he's going to be, when he starts learning the game, learning the formations and just get the more experience. So, man, it makes us feel more excited, like, damn, like, this guy, he's really good, and he shows the confidence that, he's that guy. And that's what you got to love about a quarterback, man. Quarterback with swagger, with confidence, and knows that he can make certain plays, he can make those throws, and he believes in his guys. So, man, having that guy, having him on the other side of the ball, with us going back and forth, man, it's just Imano, and it's just competing, but it's making us all great at the same time.
Jarvis Brownley Jr. with us on 3HL. A lot of talk about Cam with the struggles yesterday. How'd you feel like he bounced back today?
Honestly, man, I've been there before. I watched him from the first week when we got here. When the first 2 days I caught picks on him, and he responded instantly, man. I think one day, yeah, like he's very level-headed. He don't let too much stuff bother him. He doesn't stress a lot. You know, he's barely like fall back. Like, you know, how his attitude is. And I think that's the great thing about him is he knows that mistakes are going to be made. Everybody's not perfect. You know, he's just got to get in the league, but the progress, you can see it from when he does throws the pick and then he comes back and go 6 out of 6, 7 out of 7. Like, that's the things you want to see. And it just shows the growth that he's having each and every day. And, you know, he's just getting better and just keep working his craft.
How different is this experience for you in year 2 compared to when you just got in as a rookie last year?
I think it's way more smoother. I think I'm more locked in the focus, and when I say that is there's not a lot of stuff on my mind. Like, my mind not all over the place. Like, I was in this defense last year. So when it comes,
right?
So when it comes to the playbook and things like that, that's second nature now. So now it's just learning the game more, you know, getting the gyms, learning formations, learning route concepts, and when 2 go away is avoid, learn the dig and things like that. So man, each and every day I learn something new, and I'm gonna keep taking that step and keep watching film to get better and keep going against big bros like Calvin Ridley, man, and keep getting the knowledge from him to help my game and what I can do better to better myself.
He's like coach on the field too.
No doubt.
How much does that help you to go against guys like him?
Man, it's amazing, man. Just on and off the field, man. He's a guy that you want as a big brother, man, and he checks on me on a daily, you know, making sure my mind space is right, making sure I'm good, you know, making sure my body's fitting good, you know, I'm in the right shape, making sure I'm taking care of my body, I'm eating right, and you know, that's the type of vet you want, and you know, I couldn't be no other than grateful to have him in my corner. Just blessed to have him, man. He's a great cat. I love the way he works, the way he moves around, the way he goes about his day. Everything about him is just efficient, and it shows you that he's a real pro. And you know, I just try to look at him, how he move out the day, and try to follow in his steps, man. And it's been going good for me, and I'm gonna keep doing it so far.
Last thing, Jarvis Brownley Jr. with us on 3HL. Going to Tampa, how excited are you to go see some
great,
other
man.
people and other
So,
players?
you know, I'm going back to South Florida.
Yeah.
I get to play against my cousin, go against my cousin Kalijah Cansey. And man, you know, they got some great guys over there. Got some vets, got some Hall of Famers, Mike Evans, and I look forward to, you know, Imono, man. I'm a corner, man. I like to compete. So I'm going down there ready to compete, man, and be aggressive.
There we go. Jarvis Brownley Jr., 3HL. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Love that guy, man. Going into year 2, I thought it was interesting. He was talking about, you know, your rookie year, you're trying to get the playbook, right? Yep. Now he's got the playbook, so now he's studying formations. He's studying what this guy does, and what this guy does, and he's trying to become the best player he can be.
Yeah. Once you got the main thing down, then you can start branching out. Keep the main thing the main thing.
And he was pretty honest about his mind. 8 million things going through his mind last year. Now
said my mind's
so
not all over
simple.
the place.
Yeah.
He said there's a swagger to my game. That's definitely true. He looks so confident and comfortable out there now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's running, like, he's chirping, he's running around everywhere.
He was one of the better DBs today, for sure.
Yeah. That's good because they need him. Big time.
The energy level was something that some of us were talking about on the sideline.
Yeah, it was non-existent for a little while.
It was completely flat.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for a padded practice, day 2.
That's why I was glad he mentioned that. He said it started slow with energy on the defensive side, and I'm like, are you one of the guys that can raise the energy level? And he's like, yeah. I thought that was a good answer by him too. So anyway, there is Jarvis Brownley Jr. When we come back, Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford, next.
What's happening out there, fellas? Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you're feeling a little disgruntled, you're getting out of the bed and your energy's just not flowing like you expected to. Like, I got a good night's rest. Why ain't I ready to go? Well, your T level's probably off a little bit. This is an opportunity for you to go in and get your TRT. That's right. No better time to get your levels tested. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's Low T Center. They are reinventing men's healthcare, and they're doing it the right way. Trust and believe it. I've tried other companies, and nobody treating you quite like Low T is. The one in Hendersonville or the one in Brentwood right there on McEwen. Slide on out there and understand you're taking control of your health. You got people right there, experts that are using the things that they know to help you. And if you want to, you or your spouse want to, get a little prescription weight loss, they have that for you too. Semaglutide is right there. You will receive a free B12 shot on the same day. All you got to do is go to lowtcenter.com and sign up today.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Titans back on the practice field today for the second day of padded practices. They will return back to the practice field on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So before they head over to Tampa for some joint practices. In NFL news today, over in Baltimore, head coach John Harbaugh mentioned that Zay Flowers will miss the next couple of days with a training camp injury. And Isaiah Likely, the tight end who rolled his ankle in yesterday's practice and left early, will be out 6 to 8 weeks. Tennessee football back on the practice field today for the first day of fall camp, where the quarterback battle continues. Joey Aguilar making his first throws in a Vols uniform. Also, Boo Carter was at practice for warm-ups, but did not participate in any drills. For our foundation repair, whatever the needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Coach Mack joins us, presented by Two Rivers Ford. Coach, what's up? How are you?
Practice with you today. Took a little time off from the features I was doing out there to stand and talk to you. That was fun. Is Dawn there?
Hi, Coach Mack.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Hadley is one of the cutest things ever in the history of cute.
Oh, thanks, Coach.
Well, it was funny.
I mean, it was just to see her there at practice today.
See,
I mean, I absolutely loved it. And when she was sitting there on your knee on the sideline, I mean, that is a mini me.
There's no question about that. Here's the thing, though, Coach Mack. Coach Mack was trying to get Baby Babs to break the rules and come on the other side of the fence. She wouldn't do it, would she, Coach?
I wanted it on the other. I wanted it on the other side of the fence. I said, you come out here. You can come out here. She knows you. She doesn't know me. But that is one cute child there.
She only break rules at home, Coach Mack.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mama told
I'm
her,
sure she
you do
does.
not
And you know, that's why
break the rope.
That's
Don't-
why all parents, Uncle Max, they hate seeing him come in the house. I promise you.
There are no rules. No
all
rules.
rules go out. All rules go out the window, and the dogs are running around. I get to start up too with the kids.
It's so true.
Let's start with the quarterback. A lot of people were wondering, is he going to have a bounce back day from the 3-pick day yesterday and all those things? And he says the right things. He says it's not really about bouncing back; it's about getting better. And the thing that stuck out to me about Cam Ward today, because he made some really nice throws. The throw to Jaquan Jackson that he was unable to pull in was phenomenal. The throw to Landers on the sideline on the corner route was great. Throw to Ridley deep was great. But what stood out to me was exactly what Slay was saying yesterday. The man doesn't change his demeanor. Like, his body language doesn't change. And there were no wasted moments, Coach Mack. If he's not in a drill, he's not just standing there watching. He's talking with a coach. He's talking with Calvin Ridley. He's talking about with Lockett. He's always trying to, what did you see here? This is what I saw here. Like, there's no wasted moments with that guy.
Well, I mean, I think that's been his demeanor the whole time. That,
yeah.
And in the vetting process, look, he's going to have struggles. He's a rookie quarterback. I mean, I do a lot of out-of-market radio, right now because of him, and people are wanting to know, how does he look? And I say, look, he looks like a rookie quarterback right now. But the thing that he does have, he's got a presence about him where he is, and we've talked about it before. I mean, he's got both feet on the ground. He's going to make mistakes, but I want him. And again, when I'm doing all these things for Microsoft, I mean, you see, I got a camera crew with me, and I'm focused on the offensive line today. But I'll zero in on him, later on down the road, and then when we go on the road against Tampa Bay and Atlanta, then I'll really start zeroing in on just the dynamics of what he's doing. But he doesn't, and Ron's right, he doesn't get flustered. And all the great ones I've ever been around, the really good ones, they don't. They play within themselves, and what they do is the other thing is it doesn't, a bad play or a bad series or a bad outcome doesn't crush them.
Yeah.
When you see the body language of a quarterback that gets mentally crushed,
Will Levis,
it's hard for anybody to come back from that.
Fair.
So do you think that Cam Ward had a bounce back day today watching practice? I know you focus on offensive line, but just overall.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't focus on him. I'm really not focused on his, bounce up or bounce back stuff. I'm really not. When I'm doing these things for Microsoft, it's so detailed, and I'm talking the whole time about techniques. I'm talking the whole time about why they're doing what they're doing, how one drill stacks on top of the other in progression teaching. And you know me, I'm not going to come on here and tell you something and start just bloviating about something that I didn't watch. I don't know.
Okay, then let's talk about that offensive line. Who stood out from a technique standpoint the most to you today?
Well, I mean, look, the two number one picks, Skoronski and J.C. Latham, are good football players. Mm-hmm. And they are getting much better. That group, as a group, has needs some more cohesion, and we know that.
Yeah.
When I look at that group, the thing that I think that they're doing a much better job of this year, it just looks like from left to right with that group, is their run fits. They're running a lot more pin and pull schemes. Those seem to be working out pretty good. And then when you get to his individual, if you guys would stand with me and just do a whole individual period and watch their progression teaching. I mean, these guys, now they still have to do it against an opponent, but I'm really, really high on those two number one picks as young players, because that's the way you build an offensive line. You've got to build an offensive line through the draft, and you've got to hit on those types of draft picks. Those two types of draft picks I would take every time, and you could build 5 people with that.
With Latham specifically, I feel like his body looks different than it was last year.
Completely.
Yeah, and then moving over back to the right side, do you see a difference in him body-wise and comfort?
Well, body-wise, I mean, it doesn't take an expert to look at his body and tell that he's really, really worked hard on that. Mm-hmm. I talked to him yesterday about that, before he sat down with Amy Wells for an extended interview. I talked to him. I said, look, you're doing the right thing, and you got out ahead of it in your career. It was really smart. And he said, I can tell the difference. Mm-hmm. And you can. So, yes, I mean, just the physical, but just the idea that he has now moved back over to that side. He just, players, and again, what he did last year, playing all of those ball games at left tackle, I mean, he really did a good job of doing that. But you can see when he's over there on that right side, I mean, you've done enough athletes before. When somebody just looks a little bit more comfortable in their skin where they're lined up, that's the way he looks to me right now.
There were a couple of kick-out blocks on the right side, and I mean, he gets his hands in those two particular reps. He got his hands on the edge rusher, and there was no getting around him.
Well, if he gets his paws on you, you've got a problem, because now, and especially since he's lost the weight, he can move. I mean, he can move and extend it, to get down there. I mean, we're going to see. I mean, the guy's a big talented athlete. But the other thing that he has, I've witnessed this since he's been here. He's got an incredible work ethic. And so all of those things add up. And look, that money block that you're talking about, because they're running a lot of outside. When they run the straight outside zone stuff, you understand the tackle in a 4 or 5 man front on the edge. That's the money block, because that's the single block. Everything else is doubled along the line when you're starting to work those inside-outside zones from the inside out. But because of that stretch and the pass that the back's on, the tackle is going to be singled every time. That's why it's called the money block. He's got to make that block, for things to be able to work, because when you call outside zone, it's an outside zone stretch. The only way you get stretch is you get movement on the edge. And I agree with you. He's good at that.
Coach Mack, one of the spots that we were questioning, head scratching coming into training camp. It's one that we haven't really had opportunity to just talk about or say, man, darn, we need some help right there. That inside linebacker position looked like look like we got something on Coach Mack. I know it's early. I'm just saying right now, though.
Hey, look, Ron Slay. The knee didn't hurt your brain.
I still got something left in the tank, Coach Mack.
Yes, you do. You know what? And I agree with you. In all seriousness, yeah, we're concerned about it. I tell you what has happened, and it's really a cognitive thing when you start worrying about groups of players. When you get one central player that can pull them together, the middle linebacker. Once Cody Barton showed up, all of a sudden it starts to gel a little bit.
Yeah.
Two things. Cody Barton in the middle. I mean, I spent time yesterday talking with he and his wife. I mean, this guy is a pro's pro. I would love to have coached Cody Barton.
Yeah.
I coached a lot of guys like Cody Barton that made me a lot of money because he's going to be right. He's going to be right, and he's going to make sure everybody else is right. But the progress, I mean, when he showed up, and we talked about it, the progress that like James Williams and Gray have made just because they line up next to him.
Yep.
If you've got a guy like that can take the angst off of a young player that's next to him, worrying about what he's seeing and where to line up and what the offense is presenting him, if you can take that angst off of them and let them use their athletic ability, all of a sudden your group has gotten better.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 1,000%. I was talking to Paul Burmeister and Charles Davis today, and they said, Matt, give me a group that you really are starting to notice that you didn't think you would notice. And that's the first thing I said was the inside linebacker group. I agree with you 100%, but I really believe there's two things. I think Cody Barton had a whole lot to do with this. And then Frank Bush is an excellent coach. And what he's done in getting James Williams' leverage down because he's a taller player.
Mm-hmm.
He just learned to bend at the waist and the hips a little bit more so that you don't have to bend down to go. You're already in a go position. I'm liking what I'm seeing from that group, Ron. So you're exactly right.
Yeah, it is.
We didn't get to this either, but I think they've got three pretty good safeties.
Huh.
Well, the big unit we got from Penn State, I mean, you have to not even try to be watching to not think that guy's going to be a player.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to ignore him or something, don't you, Coach Mack?
Well, no. But he's not only got length, he's got twitch. And the other thing is, I was standing back. We'd got through filming, and I was standing. Anyway, somebody was asking me, Mack, what do you think about this safety? I said, well, just watch him here for a minute with me. Watch how much wasted motion he does not have. Anytime you watch safeties, look for the wasted motion they don't have. Are they biting the cheese on anything that happens in front where they have to double move? Those types of things. Are they going one way and then having to reset to go the other? This guy is smooth. His recognition stuff, and he can cover some ground.
Yeah.
But it shocked me. Now, again, I think we've talked about this. It shocked me when he didn't start out on PUP.
Yep.
It really did, because I mean, he has worked really hard to get back to be ready for this training camp.
Yeah.
I really, really like the look of this player.
Yep. There he is. He's Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford. Thank you, Coach. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Coach
Good to
Mack.
see you today.
Don, please bring Hadley around some more.
I don't know. It's not as easy to do work with her, you know?
No, I understand all of that, but it's so much more fun for the rest of us.
Thanks, Coach Mack.
See you guys.
All right,
ya.
there he is, Coach Mack. When we come back, Todd Furman, we'll ask him about Titans are 5.5, right? And we talk with Todd about this pretty consistently, but we also understand that some of you tune in from time to time, maybe don't hear what he has to say about the Titans going over or under that 5.5 win total. TN Berg says, I've been listening all day long. From what I've gathered, we're going to stink about as bad as last year. LOL, 7 wins, the roof 4 is likely. So we'll ask Todd Furman. We'll start with that.
I mean, that's probably fair.
Yeah, and then we'll go DJ Lagway, the effect on Florida. How do you bet preseason games? If you guys do that, he's got some advice there. That's coming up. Stay tuned. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. United Structural Systems, USSTN.com. Check these guys out. They are your experts and the best company out there for foundation repair and waterproofing issues. United Structural Systems is a foundation repair and waterproofing company that has served the Middle Tennessee area since 1994. When USS comes to your house, you're getting problem solvers who provide peace of mind to their customers, the homeowner. You're not getting someone who is worried about meeting a sales quota, upselling the next big thing, but someone there to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home. At USS, their only measure of success is how satisfied the homeowner is, not a closing ratio. This attitude and culture is the reason they keep employees year after year, from project managers to customer service to production. Some have been at USS 25 or more years. If you do have to have some foundation repair or waterproofing work done, you also have the peace of mind knowing that USS provides an honest diagnosis and stands by their work and warranties. Homeowners trust USS, keeping homes dry and stable. We guarantee our best. Call USS 615-488-7855. USS serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Online, USSTN.com. 3HL 1045, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, executive producer of 3HL SF.
What up?
Again, shout out to Ross, who just left to go get Greg Coell, who will be in studio from 5 until 6 o'clock to talk about what he has seen in the 2 padded practices for the Tennessee Titans. Todd Furman, our guy in Vegas. And Todd, I just started a weird documentary on Netflix about Area 51 and a bunch of people wanting to rush that place. Were you part of that little movement?
I was never part of that movement, but before we get into that, can we at least have a moment of silence, ladies and gentlemen, for it happened way too early, end of an era. Treylon Burks is a member of the Tennessee Titans. So I'd just like to take a moment of silence here. Slay, I don't know if you're still on the bandwagon. You're going to preside over his fan club, regardless of where he lands when he recovers from his collarbone and shoulder injury.
Listen, one thing you got to know about me, Todd Father, and you really know this deep down. If I'm riding with you, dog, you can be in a Maybach, you can be in a Pinto, you can be in a Ford Escort, you can be on a bicycle, you can be on one of the pedal taverns down here on Broadway. I'm riding with you.
I respect that because you'll be able to start watching Treylon Burks, I'm sure, as a member of the Ottawa Red Blacks sooner rather than later.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll add the CFL to the level of expertise for the Slay Dog over there.
Thank you. Could you get the jersey? You get that jersey for me, and I'm going to get you the Vol hockey jersey. How about that?
Hey, look, P.J. Walker getting his start in the CFL, so there's always an opportunity for guys that haven't achieved their full potential in the National Football League to go north of the border.
Well, hey. We got to go north. We'll go north. We got big jackets.
I want to go back. I want to go back to Area 51 real quick. You see weird things in the desert, Todd?
I mean, you always see weird things in the desert, but I wouldn't call them extraterrestrials. I might call them something else, depending on where you are in the wee hours of the morning. But what's interesting about Area 51, I have not ventured out to that confidential site and everything associated with it. But they've definitely taken a spin on it. There's an Area 15 out here, which continues to grow its massive footprint. And it's kind of an alternative entertainment option for people that don't want to spend their time, just drinking and gambling in the casino. And they continue to do more and more, whether it's a John Wick experience, whether it's some Universal Horror, I think, is a new expedition that's opening. So there are definitely some Area 51 presences here that Vegas has tried to lean into over the years.
But you never see, weird aircraft out there, huh?
I have never seen weird aircraft. I have never encountered what I would call life forms from another planet, other than, like I said, at 3 a.m. leaving the nightclubs when people are 3 sheets to the wind. They speak languages that oftentimes I don't quite understand.
So let's start with Florida football, okay? You told us a month ago to watch something with regard to DJ Lagway. Now he's in a boot with a calf strain. What's going on there? How are they affected? How much time do you think
was that even what you were talking about?
There were a couple of things that we had heard. We knew that the shoulder wasn't quite 100%. That was the injury that they had publicized a little bit more around Gainesville and why he didn't go through a full throwing program. We knew along those same wavelengths, Don, that there was a lower body procedure that was done. Now, if this is exactly what it was or if this is a lingering impact of that remains to be seen. But for a quarterback who so much of his game is predicated on his mobility, extending plays, getting outside the pocket, not exactly what Gator fans want to see when they look at that schedule in front of them and know how daunting it was going to be if DJ Lagway played to his potential. What I think is more interesting now about the Gators is we haven't seen their win total move. Still sits pretty much 7.5. And the one thing that Florida fans should be a little bit optimistic about, if you're going to put stock in professional bettors and how they're power rating the league from top to bottom, Florida was a team in a lot of the game of the year prices that did take a little bit of money. Not major line moves, but a point here, a half point there. So the way that the market was going about pricing them, professional bettors thought there was a little bit of opportunity and upside, but how quickly they'll be able to temper their expectations if we see DJ Lagway still limited as we get closer to kickoff in late August.
Todd Furman, our guy in Vegas. Is there an SEC win total that you love from a value perspective?
I mean, I'm not bullish on Arkansas by any stretch of the imagination. I still think there's a little bit of value with their win total sitting at 5.5, under minus $1.30. No, the Razorbacks are a team that I got a little egg on my face last year. They went out there and outperformed what we thought they were capable of doing. I'll just blame Auburn for that. And when you dig into Arkansas and their current trajectory as a program, I really believe that Sam Pittman, if this team struggles out of the gates, could find themselves with an interim head coach as the calendar approaches November. And you look at what Arkansas has to play in their non-conference schedule, a home date against Notre Dame, where they'll be a double-digit underdog, and then having to travel to one of the top teams in the American Athletic in Memphis, another losable game as well. So if Arkansas is able to get bowl eligible, I'll tip my hat there, but definitely strong lean under 5.5 at minus $1.30. And the other bet that I've seen take money that I haven't really gotten involved in myself, we've seen Mississippi State's over-under conference wins. It's a limited offering at a couple books, sit at 1.5. I mean, Miss State is going to be a big-time underdog in a lot of their SEC games, so trying to figure out where that group is going to win 2 games remains to be seen. 3 other SEC teams that have taken under money as well. South Carolina, be careful what you decide to believe with Lenora Sellers and what this team can do, given how difficult their schedule is in October and November. So even at under 7.5, they've taken money. Ole Miss, another team that looks to be in a little bit of a transition year. 8.5 was kind of the buy point to go under there. We'll see if Austin Simmons can pick up where Jackson Dart left off. But it looks like a roster from top to bottom that has a lot more questions that have to be answered. And then, unfortunately, I saved the best for last. Tennessee under its win total as well. Schedule extremely favorable for the Vols, but a lot of questions about how this offense will look with Joey Aguilar, his penchant for turnovers, and the fact that you can make the case they had a better quarterback situation last year, and the offense completely underwhelmed under Nico in his freshman season.
What is their win total right now?
Sits at 7.5, and depending on where you shop, that number can be juiced at certain spots. I have seen some numbers as high as 8.5. We'll call 8.5 kind of the consensus. And the reason that the number is as high as it is Tennessee's schedule works in their favor. If you go through game by game, I mean, the fact that they'll play only one true road game before they head to Alabama in the middle of October, you have to assume wins against Syracuse, East Tennessee State, UAB, Mississippi State, and maybe a loss to Georgia, that they would be 4-1 before a potential swing game at home against Arkansas. But the schedule does get a little bit more difficult down the stretch. I'm just not sure where this talent level is, even if a lot of the opponents on paper look to provide very winnable opportunities.
Wow. What about Vanderbilt? Where are they at? 4.5?
Their win total is interesting because when you listen to, of course, what Diego Pavia and this team have said, they're going to compete for a national championship, which is an interesting way to look at it. For the Doors, 4.5, but minus $2 to the over, so we'll call that more in line of a 5 or a 5.5 shaded to the under. The one thing for Vandy, I think this roster is better than where they were last year. They're not going to catch anybody looking past them on their schedule. Should definitely, be 3-0 at their non-conference games against Charleston Southern, the revenge game against Georgia State, and a home date against Utah State. But in my opinion, if they're going to comfortably go over their win total and get to 5, you probably want to win the revenge spot that Virginia Tech will have working in their favor week 2, and then try and look further down the schedule because things get a little bit tricky late in the year. But I'm down on Kentucky, and we'll see if they can hold serve against the Missouri team at home that they were very close to beating in multiple overtimes last year as a 3-touchdown underdog in Columbia.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that Virginia Tech game is on the road and at night. It's 7:30, I think. There are several revenge spots. Auburn, too, right, Babs?
Yep. A number of spots within the league, and there are plenty of opponents that are not going to just put the green check mark next to Vanderbilt in the past. So I think you'll get teams that are fully entrenched. And look, when you go through their conference schedule at home, I'm sure that they go into it thinking that they need to beat Auburn in early November. They need to beat Kentucky coming off of a bye. And I'm sure they'd love nothing more than to be able to go into Knoxville if the Vols underachieve with a chance to win that rivalry game to close out the regular season. But for me, I don't have Vanderbilt penciled in as a bowl team this year. We'll see if Clark Lee and Diego Pavia are able to work a little bit more magic, though, in 2025.
So the 4 favorites to win the SEC, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, do you find value in one of those, or can you go beyond that?
For me, I think it's those 4 teams, and LSU is probably the most intriguing out of all of them. Alabama, I know a lot of fans weren't happy with what they got year 1 in the Kalen DeBoer experience, but the more and more people I talk to around the program who don't want to speak out loud or say it publicly, they weren't overly enamored with the work ethic that they saw from Jalen Milroe in terms of his ability to grasp that level of offense. I mean, we saw Milroe with some electric plays with his legs, but we also saw him throw a number of worm burners, especially in a game against Tennessee where that offense really couldn't do anything against a talented Vols defense. So Alabama is a very interesting team because you get an offensive coordinator reunited with his head coach, and we'll see if they're able to channel some of the magic that we saw in Seattle. Georgia's schedule, one of the more favorable in the SEC, so I understand why, all the expectations are there. Only 3 true road games, and one of which is a trip to Starkville against the rebuilding Mississippi State team. So in my opinion, no reason to believe that Georgia, who doesn't lose games in Athens, shouldn't be 10-2, an absolute worst-case scenario. Texas, the most intriguing if Arch Manning scratches the surface. And then, of course, there's LSU, who has a guy who's going to be in the mix if he plays well to be the number 1 pick in the draft. And Garrett Nussmeier, skill position talent is there for LSU. We'll get an idea if the offensive line can be even a semblance of what it was last year. But the real thing that's killed the Tigers during the Brian Kelly era is they just can't get stops. I mean, this LSU team has been downright miserable on the defensive side of the ball. And even if they were to lose the opener at Clemson, where they're now a 3.5, 4-point underdog, depending on the book, I think LSU is extremely live. And, should that number to win the national championship, make the playoff, and win the SEC drift out if they lost the game by 7 to 10 points against Clemson in the opener, probably would be where I would look to get involved, hoping that they can make a statement against Florida in that Saturday, September 13th game down there in Death Valley.
Well, Top Father, since we're talking, odds and things like that, with Nussmeier you saying he could play his way into the number 1 pick, what about this dark horse Mateer when you start talking about a Heisman? What's your thoughts on him for the Oklahoma?
So Mateer is a very interesting prospect. I probably watched a lot more Washington State football out here on the West Coast than most fans in the SEC did. When you're watching some of those late games, his athleticism is going to wow some folks. The problem that I have making the transition to playing in the SEC versus what he was able to do in the Palouse last year, he had a knack for going through his progressions in a very quick time period, and if there wasn't anything there, just tucking it and running. I think he's got to be a little bit more patient in the pocket, allow things to develop, but everything is going to move that much faster. When you bring your offensive coordinator over with you, you figure that there's that level of continuity and confidence that should come with it. The problem for Oklahoma, though, is still along the offensive line. And Jackson Arnold had to deal with that for extended stretches last year. I don't care how mobile, how elusive, and how talented you are as a quarterback. When you're running for your life less than a half second after the ball has been snapped, it's going to put you in harm's way. And I think that, for me, limits the ceiling of Mateer. But we'll get a very good indication of where this Oklahoma team is as a collective when they welcome in Michigan early on in the season. They'll be a short favorite in that particular game. And this Michigan defense, I think, can be as good as what we saw last year. Just ask Alabama fans what they had to live through in that bowl game. It's going to look like a very similar addition. So I am as curious as anybody to see how Mateer performs at Oklahoma, a team a lot of people are picking to go over their win total, but I'm still a little bit more skeptical of what the Sooners' ceiling really is.
Okay.
Todd Furman, preseason football starts tomorrow. Chargers, Lions. Lions favored by 2 on NBC at 7 o'clock. How do you bet preseason games? What's your advice to people?
Put the house on Trey Lance.
Yeah, you're going to want to try and do as much research as you can and, get a better indication of which teams are placing emphasis on actually winning these games. I say one of the things, if you're close to making a bet, you always love a good quarterback battle to try and push you across the finish line for guys that are fighting for positions. Not necessarily to be the starter on these teams, but between, your third quarterback and the second. To Slay's point there, we figure out what Trey Lance is. Can he be the number 2 and beat out Taylor Heineke, who the Chargers already know what that quarterback is, given, his multiple stops along the way, and he's got a little bit of an NFL resume. So as you go through some of these games, read some of the beat writers. They're going to at least tip their hand. But what we've seen, more and more over the last couple of years with the truncated preseason schedule only going 3 games, that some of the coaches will tell you that starters will be out there for a half, and you'd be amazed how quickly they get pulled after only a series or 2. So it can be a very profitable endeavor betting the preseason, but it's a much different handicap than when you're going through the regular season because it's all information driven above all else.
Do you bet it?
We do. Our limits are relatively low compared to what we can get for the NFL regular season. And the other thing about it, these lines are so volatile, Don, that once some of this information starts to leak out, you'll see a game go from 1.5 to 4.5 in a matter of minutes, depending on the bettors that are behind it. So you don't want to necessarily chase a lot of those numbers, and you can oftentimes find value potentially going the other way. The one thing I will tell people that want to delve into this, it is not for the faint of heart, because there are a lot of players that'll determine the viability of your bankroll in the third and fourth quarter that you've never heard of, that played at the FCS or Division II level. And let's just say sometimes they're not that buttoned up in the 2-minute drill when you're trying to sneak in a back door.
Yeah, golly.
So, am I taking Chargers plus the 2? Is that what I want to
in the first half.
This game is the definition of a dumpster fire because these teams will play 4 preseason games. I do think you're going to see some Chargers money come in as the number continues to leak out. One thing I will say about the preseason that's a little bit different than the regular season, the importance of the 1 and 2 are paramount because teams in tie games late are going to go for 2. Nobody wants to try and play for overtime. And unlike the regular season where you may see a favorite flip from, say, 1.5-point favorites to underdogs, it doesn't fundamentally change the handicap. But in the preseason, for folks paying attention, you'd be amazed how many games can fall 1 or 2 and how much differently it becomes to try and handicap those games around what we would define as non-key numbers during typical NFL weekends.
Real quick, NASCAR, Bubba Wallace won in Indy. This week they're in Iowa. What do you think about this race?
Yeah, pretty impressive. I mean, pre-week, if you had the foresight to see the long drought for Bubba Wallace come to an end of about 100 races, 60-1, the going rate on Bubba. Wow. He reopened after practice and qualifying more in that 16 to 18-1 range, and even after that weather delay, was able to hold off some pretty stiff competition behind him. I am in full agreement with some of the guys that are being priced as favorites this week. I was hoping for a little better price on Christopher Bell than the 4-1. Ryan Blaney right up there as well as Kyle Larson. If I had to pick between that trio, lean ever so slightly towards Ryan Blaney, but don't want to encourage anybody to get involved pre-week with guys that are priced at 6-1 or shorter. I do think we're talking about a chalky race on a flat, relatively short track in Iowa. We'll go for the second time in as many years.
I like when Don asks you a question, do you bet on this? And you always come back like a psychiatrist. It's Team Furman.
Exactly. It is always a collective. You cannot be a man on an island or woman on the island when you're trying to do this at a professional level. You have to lean on your network regardless of what that particular sporting endeavor is. Golf, NFL preseason, NHL preseason, season-long bets. Very rarely do you want to go out there and make a statement entirely on your own.
What if my network includes 2 people, you and Slay?
Oh, yeah.
That is my network.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, I've tried to impart as much wisdom on you over the years, and you're pretty much a lost cause. So I can only do so much. And, for anybody who wants to know, if we want to peel back the curtain, Brent, the amount of people that you reach out asking me if they're credible in the space, whether it's gambling or otherwise, I'm starting to worry about your judgment when I'm not in your ear on a regular basis.
I know. I see weird videos from time to time,
I'm glad he's never asked about me.
That's what happens when you're doom scrolling social media channels in the wee hours of the morning. As for you, Slay, look, we can only play psychiatrist and mathematician and all of the other different occupations there to try and get you where you need to be before football season starts for real in late August, or I guess August 23rd with week 0. So, Brent, I've been trying for years. He's a lost cause. You were probably a lost cause right from day one, and we still love you for it anyway.
Top 5, the good thing is you said pull back the curtain. I don't have a curtain. I'm just running through the quad like Frank the Tank, baby. Let's get
it. Yeah, look, I mean, if we're going streaking in broad daylight down there on Broadway, I think we're all in big, big trouble, my friend. I just want to know when you're doing it, as long as you have the Slay signature headband on, we're going to be in good hands.
Can you imagine? Nothing on but the headband.
Yeah, baby. It's on.
And the football season is back, baby. And the Slayscape, which you know nothing about.
Yeah,
Todd.
buddy.
Well, we have to wait for Slay to completely go through his rehabilitation on his lower body, though. If he's going to try and run that sub 7-minute 40-yard dash, we want him to have quick foot speed working in his favor. Because him walking slowly, butt ass naked on Broadway is not going to be a great scene for most of the folks there that are tourists or locals.
Dinosaurs once ruled the earth, Tom.
Yeah, but you know what they say, Slay? They had a short lifespan as well. So there's always going to be someone younger, bigger, stronger, and faster out there trying to knock you from your perch, my friend.
There he is. He's Todd Furman, at Todd Furman on X. Thank you, Todd.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a great rest of the week.
It was something else, man.
Him and Caliendo.
It's something else. What's wrong with you?
When we come back, Auburn football coach Hugh Freeze had a lot of things to say today that are pretty funny in a weird kind of way. That's next, 3HL.
Hey, y'all, it's hot. I'm telling you, man. It is so hot that when you breathe in, you kind of got to hold your breath for a second just so the heat that you breathe in can cool off just a little bit. Then you kind of create that into the oxygen. But listen, we ain't going to talk about that right now. What I'm telling you is Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, that's what's going to get you the coolest. You got that? Your HVAC unit's having a little trouble. You cutting it on. You don't feel that breeze, that burst of cold air coming out your vents. Well, you need to go get your stuff checked, man. And Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, they do that free. That's right, free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs. So if your AC unit is just a little iffy, well, they got new units for you, too. They got you covered on that. Up to 60 months, no interest, financing with approved credit. And if you call somebody else in to do the work and you want a second opinion, that's free. All you got to do is go to springhillac.com. They are the heating and cooling company. They can take care of all your HVAC needs.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay.
Yo.
Todd Furman dropping the butt-ass naked.
Yeah, what time, Father? What's wrong with you?
He said, first time I've ever done that on this show. I said, which is actually unbelievable considering this show.
Right.
Valid point.
We bring the best out of people.
Yes. Hugh Freeze said things today, Auburn head football coach.
I wanted to skip this segment.
You got something to do?
I wish.
Freeze, in this, how long is this clip?
1:45.
In 1:45, Freeze says length and girth a lot. Check this out.
I don't really get hung up on the running back's weight, but it is good that you have some that have some girth to them. But there's no doubt you need length and girth in this league up front, and I think at linebacker too. And it helps if you have it in the secondary. I tell guys all the time when they're recruiting these guys from an offensive perspective, when we're talking about open receivers, length matters. Both sides, you can have a shorter receiver that's actually winning a route by 2 yards, but the length of that DB gives it, and according to that receiver, it gives you no window. The quarterback doesn't really feel like that's a window. Whereas if the receiver is here and the DB's there, I see that window. And so length matters there, and it certainly matters up front. When you're rushing guys on the defensive front who have some length to them, it's uncomfortable for the quarterback. Jared Smith kind of, even if he's blocked, I'm
such a child.
That window is a little cloudy because of the length. And so we've added that at tackle on offense too. Inside, Jay and all those two guys we brought in, they have more length and girth to them. Autry, and you can't have that in every single one of them, but I think our length at linebackers gotten longer and faster. And so that's yes, that's by design. You want more length and girth at particularly a lot of positions.
Come on, Hugh.
All right, who wants the running tally?
I know he said the word girth 4 times is what I had.
I was going to say, go.
4 times, length 9 times.
I was going to say 12.
Well, 12 total if you add them up. Here's the deal. He can say length all day long because I get it. And it completely makes sense what he's talking about from the football standpoint. Length. Did you have to use girth?
That's not a word. I just, I wake up and I'm like, man, I'm going to throw this word out here today. Like, you never use that word. He had to know he was saying weird things right there, doesn't he?
I don't know if he knows.
I don't think so either.
I mean, what's worse, him using the word girth 4 times in that clip or saying that they're taking it easy on their 5-star quarterback transfer?
That was the next thing I was going to get to.
That is way worse.
Hang tight. Stoney Keeley turned my radio on just in time for length and girth.
Yeah, sorry, Stoney.
Stretch out.
Damn it, Hugh. Like, people are already talking about your golf game and poor recruiting.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you just not put the 2 words together?
Justin, all this time, apparently my wife has been an Auburn fan. I guess I know why she tells me I'm not built for the SEC.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody's got jokes. Everybody's got jokes. From Justin Hokinson.
How can he be that clueless?
Yeah, just tough.
Gator Mike's in there. He said it just means more.
Yeah.
Just means more girth, apparently.
Freeze.
All right.
Our program director's off today. I think he's getting text messages right now.
We may be off in a minute.
Coell hosts the 5 o'clock hour by himself. Coell and Gator Mike coming up next.
Yeah, buddy.
Freeze acknowledges that he asked defensive coordinator DJ Durkin to go easier on quarterback Jackson Arnold in the spring. Freeze said offensive coaches are working closely with Durkin regarding practice plans. Freeze said, quote, the number 1 priority for practice is for our quarterback to leave the field confident, end quote. Thoughts?
And prayers.
I don't care if you're doing that. Don't tell anybody. Why are you telling?
Don't openly admit that.
You got to build his
Why is
confidence
this
up,
in
Babsy.
an interview? Don't ever tell anybody they have to build up somebody's confidence because now you're just killing his confidence.
Also, what does that tell you about what happened to him in Oklahoma? That you got to build his confidence up by taking it easy on him in practice?
No, but we talk about practice. That is how bad it was at Oklahoma. That is how bad it was. And clearly, he ain't mentally power lifter here.
You love that segment, didn't you?
Loved it. That was great. Thanks, Hugh.
I was waiting on that all day.
You guys know I love Hugh. Hugh is my guy.
That's your dog.
I do too.
But come on.
It's not helping her, Babs.
And length is great. That's fine. Talk about it. Don't put the two words together.
Does he need a vernacular coach? You could be that.
Clearly. And also,
Snort.
also, don't tell everybody that your quarterback is mentally fragile. Right? At least nobody said that about Will Levis. We just figured it out.
Didn't have to tell anybody.
Yeah, Callahan didn't go out there and be like, yeah, we got to take it easy on him in practice.
No.
Well, they're sure not doing that to Cam Ward.
No,
Well, they're
they're
sending everybody at him. All the
I
time.
can't wait to hear Coell speak what he saw.
They are near the station, sitting in traffic. So Coell will hop in when he gets here. Greg Coell, NFL Films, has been at the two padded practices. We'll get his take next. 3HL. Stay tuned. 104.5 The Zone. I want to tell you about my friends at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Daniel Gupton and his crew ready to help you out. Just check them out online, GuptonMotors.com. The inventory is there. All the deals are there. They've got a tremendous selection of pre-owned vehicles. Check them out, GuptonMotors.com. All of the dealership information is there, address, phone number, all of it. So check them out. If you're in the process, make sure you include Gupton in that process. If you haven't begun the process, but you know you're about to, just go there because you'll start and finish there. These are great dudes. They are there with you every step of the way. Just tell them what you're looking for. They'll point you in the right direction. Take your test drive. Go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. About 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Their service department is incredible as well. So after the point of sale, they will keep in contact with you in terms of your vehicle needing an oil change, tire rotation, things like that. They'll let you know. And they will hook you up for sure. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3450 Tom Austin Highway, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. GuptonMotors.com.
Good evening. It's 5:03. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Titans were back on the practice field today for the second day of padded practices. They'll be back this weekend on Saturday and Sunday before heading to Tampa for joint practices with the Buccaneers before the preseason game next weekend. In NFL news today, in Baltimore, head coach John Harbaugh said that Zay Flowers is expected to miss a couple days with a training camp injury. Also, tight end Isaiah Likely, who left camp early yesterday, will miss approximately 6 to 8 weeks with an ankle injury. Tennessee football was back on the practice field today for the first day of fall camp, where the quarterback battle continues. Joey Aguilar making his first throws in a Vols uniform. Boo Carter was also at practice for warm-ups, but did not participate in any drills. For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone Wednesday edition means what, Slate?
Day.
It is definitely that.
Yes.
And we've got a special guest in the studio. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. We're usually here. Greg Coell is in town and in studio.
Coell.
I am indeed here. I know. It's crazy.
We love having you in person.
What's going on, Greg?
It's been a great couple of days. I got here Sunday night, been out at the Titans camp the last 3 days. And the best thing is that they practice at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Seriously, because it's so hot.
Exactly.
By the time they end, though, and they went long today.
They did go a little longer today because tomorrow is an off day.
That's right.
I think I don't follow the collective bargaining agreement, but I think you can only practice for 3 consecutive days, and then you need a day off. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah, and then so they typically do kind of a walkthrough practice after having a day off.
They did that on Monday. I'm not sure what they're going to do on Friday. I think that, I guess they'll decide that. The coaching staff will decide what they want to do on Friday. You are allowed to have 3 padded practice days in a row, but then you have to have the next day off. I mean, it's, I'll tell you one thing. I've been to a lot of training camps in my career, not so many recently as I did years ago, but it is a really long, hard day for players and coaches. I mean, it's... I know a lot of people think, oh, these guys, they make a lot of money. They're playing a kid's game. It's, this is not so easy. And it's so mental. I mean, just the amount of material that they're asked to understand, and they go through this stuff really quickly. Now, obviously, a lot of this stuff was presented to them, in the off season, in the OTAs and the mini camps. So it's not brand new, but they do add things. And it's, this is a tough deal.
It's funny. I talked with Jarvis Brownley Jr., who I know you really like.
He's fun to watch too.
He said himself, "I've got a swagger to my game."
He does.
You're starting to see that now, and the confidence level. He's always jawing at people.
Had some good reps with Ridley in the 1-on-1s.
He talked about that. He said, "I can't even put a price on that." On how much that helps me to be able to go up against a guy that good. And well,
I told Calvin Ridley, in fact, when I was leaving, I said to him, I said, listen, I said, I got to tell you, I've been doing this a long time, and you are so smooth. And, he's a really nice guy, by the way. And he thanked me. And then I said, I would just like to be able to move like you do for a day. And he was cracking up. I mean, that guy is so smooth.
So smooth.
So during practice, Zeph and I are standing on the sideline watching, and Ridley finishes a drill. He stands in front of us, and he was talking with Cam about what they just saw and things like that. They got done with their conversation. He takes his gloves off, goes over, during practice, goes over to a kid, hands the gloves to the kid, and says, "Thanks for being here." And then runs back to the thing. It's like little things like that you don't see about players, that they are people too.
And I think that, the Titans, handled this week really well because they're going on the road next week and the week after. And, they had the fans come out. I mean, that's what it's all about for fans. They want to be there. They want to feel like they're part of it. Nashville, Obviously, as you guys know, they don't have a Major League Baseball team. You don't have an NBA team. Obviously, you have the Preds that I know when they do really well, people are excited. But when they don't, they're probably not as excited, I would imagine, because it's not a natural hockey town, like going back, 30, 40, 50 years. So, it's a football town. I mean, not only SEC football, obviously, but the Titans. It's a Titans town. So, you want to cultivate that. You want to make sure that fans are interested no matter what the record is, and I think that's all plays into how important it is. They understand that in the organization.
Well, back to what you were saying about the playbook and things like that. Brownley, I thought it was interesting. He opens up about like what he struggles with and what he's working on and things like that. He said the biggest difference this year is my mind's not all over the place.
Right.
He said coming in as a rookie and he ended up playing immediately. He said his mind was everywhere. And now
played
he said,
well.
Yeah, and played well. And now he says, I know the playbook. So now I'm working on formations and studying formations and what this guy does and what this guy does. And he says it's really helping him with his game.
Yeah, and which, makes perfect sense because I did happen to, in spending some time with Denard, the defensive coordinator, I got a real sense of the number of coverages, for instance, that they run, and it's mind-boggling. I mean, all these coverage, and this is true, of every coach in the league. He's not the only one because I've had these conversations with defensive coordinators before. But, people might think, oh, we play cover 3. Well, there's 10 versions of cover 3. I happened to notice did a lot of stuff where they were, late rotation into cover 2, but there's versions of cover 2. Now, all this is conceptual, so it's not, if you understand the concept, you understand it, but still, there's little tweaks and little differences in this, what would be considered the same coverage that you have to understand with a term that's often used for defensive backs is body presence. How your body is positioned. How to play with the leverage, meaning, where's your help? How do you play to your help? There's all little things. And particularly on the back end, if you make a mistake, that could be a 60-yard touchdown. So that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how much sorry, I'm just diving right in here.
No, go ahead.
Because we're talking about this defense. Obviously, Cam Ward didn't have a great day yesterday. A little bit of a bounce back today. Better in the beginning of practice, but then once it went unscripted.
I'm going to just push back on that, Dawn, if you don't mind.
No, I would love for you to.
And I'm asking you this as a representative of a fan here. How would you know whether he had a good day or a bad day? Seriously, because you don't know what he's being asked to do. Yeah. You don't know what the defense is being asked to do when Cam Ward is on the field. So if he throws an incompletion or an interception, the assumption is he's having a bad day. That is not necessarily the case at all. So
I think that's very true about yesterday. Today he made some really nice throws.
Right. He's a really good thrower of the football.
Yeah.
But he also overthrew Ridley, and right. You're going to see that.
Did he miss some throws? Of course, but I can tell you for a fact that one of the things the organization is doing and the coaching staff is doing, and they're doing it intentionally, is they are making things really hard for him quickly. They're doing that intentionally. They're putting him in really difficult situations, a lot of third and longs, which, by the way, third and long in the NFL, teams might convert maybe 21 or 22%. Mm-hmm. So, you have to...
This franchise knows that, Coell.
Yeah. No, but I mean, that's the average in the NFL.
Right.
So, they're doing this intentionally because, number one, they believe that he can handle the fact that he will go through, hey, God, I'm not sure exactly what I'm seeing right now because I've never seen that before. And by the way, Denard Wilson is, in terms of schematics of pressure, is one of the best in the league. They're doing this also because when they go to Tampa, Todd Bowles is also a proven record of being one of the best in the league in terms of pressure concepts. So they want to put as much on Cam Ward's plate as possible. So, I think people have to understand one thing, that what training camp is for a lot of players, but certainly for rookie quarterbacks, is about failure and learning. That's what training camp is about. So coaches never they don't think in terms of failure. Oh, he had a bad day. They think in terms of this is now a great learning way now. Now we see this. He sees it. We have it on tape. We sit with him. We go over it. It's all about the learning. I don't know what do people think that a rookie quarterback is going to come in and know everything and therefore be great on every snap?
That's what they forget.
I mean,
clearly,
that's patently absurd.
I got that written down. How hard is it to remember that he's a rookie quarterback?
Right.
Exactly. And hold on, though.
Yeah.
Because to his point, this was going to be my question. When you watch what they're doing defensively, how different is what Cam's seen now from this defensive scheme and everything,
that he's seen before in his life?
Yes.
He's never seen this before. He's never seen this before. And by the way, today...
That's exactly what I wanted you to point out.
They had what they call unscripted periods. So in other words, they had 3 of them. Therefore, Denard Wilson didn't know what the offense was going to call, and the offense didn't know what Denard Wilson was going to call. So it was a game. They were basically playing a game Brent, you were there, so you saw it. And that's a lot of teams don't do that early in training camp, but they want to do that intentionally. So look, the fact is, they know who their first couple of opponents are. Week 1, they play the Denver Broncos at Denver. Vance Joseph has been in this league a long time, and he's a really difficult D coordinator to play against. Week 2, for the home opener, they play the Rams, who over the last 7-8 weeks last season, their defense was great. Week 4, I believe they play Houston. If memory serves me correctly. I don't know if it's here or in Houston, but I believe they play Houston week 4. And Houston has one of the best defenses in the NFL. So, they're not looking to spoon feed. They're not looking, and I don't mean to be sarcastic at all, but they're not looking to have Cam Ward go through practice so that the beat writers can tweet out, Cam had a great day. He was 14 for 15. Yeah. They don't care about that. That's not even relevant to the conversation.
Mm-hmm. It's the Broncos, Rams, Colts, and Texans.
And where's the Texans game?
The Texans is at Houston.
Yeah, so yep. 3. No knock on the Colts,
right.
But
Colts are here.
Right, but 3 of those first 4 games are really ridiculously difficult defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Really
Sorry,
interesting.
go ahead.
No.
But that was leading to my question at how much. I mean, did he ever see anything like that at Miami?
Yeah, and I want to go. I wanted to transition to a point that you've made before about Jaden Daniels and the early part of that season, because I think everybody thinks, NFC Championship game, rookie quarterback, he was awesome, blah, 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 blah. But they handled it a little in an interesting way at the beginning of the season to kind of ramp him up, and we'll go from there. 615-737-1045 if you have a question. Greg Coell in studio from NFL Films and NFL Matchup, 3HL 1045 The Zone. Well, spring has sprung, and you know what that means? It's officially moving season. We're into the summer, time filled with hours of packing, unpacking, and so much bubble wrap. With the first thing you should do when moving into your new home is make sure that the Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity. It's super quick and easy to set up. Then, boom, you'll have your new home hooked up with the ultimate Wi-Fi experience faster than the time it takes you to parallel park a moving truck, which I do not want any part of that, but maybe you do. Then you'll be back online with the most reliable Wi-Fi with the best in-class equipment from Xfinity, so you can just kick back, relax, and stream your favorite movies and TV shows while someone else deals with all those boxes. Because with Xfinity, the only thing you'll have to worry about is remembering where you are and remembering where you packed your remote. Make it right and easy. Make that move with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com/move. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi claim based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Mary J.
Like it.
3HL 1045, The
Zeffy.
Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Greg Coell from NFL Films, NFL Matchup on the ESPN Properties in studio.
Can I just point out how much I love how Coell just started off the show talking about Cam Ward, and you can't say that he had a bad practice because of you have no idea what they're trying to do, because the first day of padded practice, I mean, shoot, even an hour ago, somebody in this chat just said, oh, yeah, should we listen to Dawn because she thought Levis was it and whatever. She's been on Cam this whole time, and look at him. He's terrible. He's a bust. Terrible pick. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my God.
So, Coell, thank you.
This is what we deal with every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing a little, chill to it. And chill is the good way to describe Cam, too, because obviously he was asked in his press conference, like, how do you deal with the failure of yesterday?
And he said his response was great. He goes, this is not my end point.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and he gets it. I was going to say that I got a chance to meet him when I was here and talk to him for a little bit after practice. And Mike Borgonzi, who's the GM, who I've gotten to know pretty well and spent a lot of time talking to. And, we've had some great conversations, not just about the Titans, but just, the whole process of evaluating players, because you guys know I love doing that. That's so. I was talking to Mike, and then Cam actually came over. So Mike, and I really appreciated, really set me up in meeting Cam and said, hey, you want Cam, you want to talk to this guy because this guy probably knows more about quarterback play than anybody evaluating quarterback. So Mike really set me up super well. So the first thing Cam said to me, and this meant something to me in just the way he thinks about the game and his place in it, the first thing he said to me was, so tell me, what do you think I need to work on?
Really?
That was the first thing he said to me.
How about that?
Sorry, man.
Nice.
I mean, I thought that was really impressive. I mean, first meeting me, now Mike did a great job in setting me up, and I appreciated that. But still, he's thinking, how can I get better?
You evaluate tape.
Yeah,
what do you see?
Right. How can I get better?
Yeah.
Did you laugh? Because that was the first thing he said.
No, I mean, I didn't laugh, but, yeah. But, I mean, it was, and it's funny. I didn't remember everything because obviously I did all his work back in February, so I don't remember every detail of watching his tape. But I just thought.
But you liked him.
I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved him.
It's interesting. You were talking about Denard Wilson's defense and just watching today at how many blitz packages they were throwing at Cam Ward. And so you combine that with your thought on the first 4 games, which is how coaches typically break down seasons into those terms against really tough defenses. And then it made me think about what you said about Jaden Daniels. So everybody loves Jaden Daniels, and for good reason. He had an incredible season. They go to the NFC Championship game for the first time in like 20 years. Had won 5 games the year before or whatever it was. But I remember you telling us they ramped him up in games. He wasn't throwing the ball down the field hardly at all to start with.
And the other player that really sort of comes to mind, and I just thought of this as you were talking about Jane Daniels, was C.J. Stroud, who his rookie season played at a really, really high level. Obviously, they made the playoffs. He played really, really well. His second year, obviously, they made the playoffs again, and they won a playoff game. But he himself, as an individual, did not play quite at the same level because what happens is you start to face things that are a little different. Number one, his pass protection wasn't quite as strong. And so what happened is he had to make more throws from what we call muddied or noisy, or squeezed pockets, and he started to play a little too fast. He rushed himself. So he just it became a little bit of a learning year. It wasn't as good. Now he's a really good player, and I expect him to continue to develop and be really good in his 3rd season. But all this is, I've been doing. Just to give you an example, not that this is about me, but I've been this going into my 46th season. Okay, so I've done a lot. I've seen a lot. And, the reason I come to things like this, and I've been to other training camps, is to keep learning. You're always learning.
Always.
And I think if you think, hey, you don't know or you have all the answers, that's when you truly do. I meant to say when you think you know everything and you have all the answers, that's when you truly don't know.
Right.
And, like the reason coaches will let me do what I do is because I'm not interested in what their game plan's going to be week one. I'm not looking for a scoop. I just love the process of it all, the process of how it's all put together, how they teach it, how they coach it, how they think about, putting concepts together, because everything's conceptual. That's the way they teach it all. And I just want to keep learning and learning and learning.
Coell, when we talk about the success of a guy like Cam, it starts up front. Are you seeing in these last couple of days the growth from a guy like Latham? I was impressed by Skoronski, how he's coming along, but the other additions, Dan Moore, how's this marriage of linemen coming along in your eyes right now from what you were able to see?
The only thing I'll say is this. They do these one-on-one pass pro drills. I don't know if you got a chance to watch any of that today.
No, I didn't today.
I watched them.
Quarterback receiver.
Yeah, I watched them in detail yesterday. I watched other things today. I figured I'd jump around, But the one thing I did notice is just how much more comfortable Latham looks on the right side. Yeah. And that's another thing people have to understand.
That's a body language thing that is noticeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that obvious?
Yeah.
Totally obvious. Yeah. And, don't forget, that's the position he played in college. Mm-hmm. And, people don't understand, it's a different foot with your kick slide. It's different hand usage. It's not just, put him on the left side and he'll be ready to rock and roll. And I personally think he could develop into a really good left tackle. Mm-hmm. But on the right side, just everything about his movements looked so much more comfortable. Yeah. And, I think, and then, and Dan Moore, I think that he'll has a little work to do, and in certain areas I think he needs to improve, but he's played in the league and has been a starter essentially since he's a rookie. Right. So you're not talking about a guy that has not played at a reasonably good level. Skoronski's a guy I didn't study in great detail last season watching the Titans, but I spoke to a couple of guys who are really offensive line guys, and one of them told me that he thought Skoronski over the last 6-7 games of the season played really at a high level. So I'll go with that because, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and speak about something I don't know. Right. Don't know.
I know you don't pay attention to this at all, but his PFF grade those last 6 weeks was through the roof.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so I mean, and Zeidler is, there's a veteran guy who's just, it's going to be a better O-line. Right. That's the bottom line. I mean, are we going to sit here and say where it stands in the league? That's pointless right now, as we have had 2 padded days of practice, but it's going to be let's put it this way, it's going to be a professional offensive line.
Yeah.
That's good.
So needed. We've been dying for one. We've been dying for one.
Well, and what people have to understand is where the offensive line comes into play, besides the obvious when people see guys get beat or the quarterback gets sacked or the run game gets stuffed, where it really comes into play is it limits what the offensive coordinator, Nick Holtz, can call.
Right.
That's where it really comes into play. Obviously you watch, the left tackle or the right tackle get beat, you go, oh my God, they're not very good. That's the obvious part. But when you get to 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 and you feel like instead of having some really good options that you feel really good about to attack the defense you're playing, and you say, I can't really call that because I don't think we can protect. Yeah. So now you have to do other things.
We talked about that last year.
Yeah.
Like, why are there not more deep balls? Well, because you make that call, you may kill your quarterback.
And by the way, there's not one offensive coordinator in the league that when it comes to, let's say, 3rd and 6 plus, that doesn't want to send all 5 eligible receivers out in routes. Yeah. And you couldn't do that with the Titans because they couldn't protect.
Yep. Totally agree. So with this wide receiver room then, well, the extension to Cam also, what are your thoughts on you already talked about Calvin Ridley, but a guy like Lockett coming in.
I talk with Lockett a good amount. He's just one of those, he's a pro. He's just one of those guys. But I thought the 2 rookies, Shamir DK and Alik Ayamanor looked really, really good. They look like they know how to play the wide receiver position. Now, again, it's 2 days, so I'm not going to sit here and say, they're on their way to being good. Who knows? But I did both their tapes in detail, coming out. Obviously, they were 4th and 5th round picks, I believe, and there's reasons for that. But I thought that they both looked like they belonged, like it wasn't too big for them, and just in terms of the way they ran routes, the way they caught the ball. And Ayamanor is, I don't know if you got a chance to see him today. He's a big dude now.
His body surprised me.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
I saw him face to face.
Yeah, so I think that
he stood out to me Tuesday. big time.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, they got the two veterans in Lockett and Jefferson. And I think that that's really important. Guys who, been through the league a lot of years, had success, understand how to work with a quarterback, understand how to find soft spots and voids in zone coverages, understand the details and nuances and subtleties of the position that help a quarterback. Yeah. So, you hate to see anybody get hurt, but in an odd way, the Burks thing probably helped them. Because let's say Burks had an unbelievable training camp. Yeah. That it would have put him in a really interesting spot. Yeah. Because I think, another guy that stands out, and he's a great special teamer, so he's going to make the team, is Oliver. Because
he is going to make the team.
Yeah.
And he had a great touchdown catch in the back of the end zone.
And he stands out a receiver
through contact,
too.
Yeah.
That was my next question that you kind of hit on right there. How important is it? We talk about the growth for Cam Ward, him to get and understand the different defenses that have been thrown at him, especially when it's unscripted, but also these receivers to understand because Tuesday when I was watching, it was looking like Cam was analyzing things that he could see, but the receivers wasn't necessarily seeing what he saw.
Well, that's part of the process. They're working together for the first time in really, truly live situations. Not walk through speed.
Right.
So that's really critical. One thing I noticed about Cam, and I noticed this watching his tape too in college, and I like this personally. Now I think it will lead to some bad throws and interceptions. Throughout the course of his rookie year, but he's an aggressive mindset thrower. Yeah. He drives the ball down the field. And they're actually working with him on that to say, hey, let's be really cognizant of situational football, and that's a part of the learning process, depending on the down and distance, hey, if you have a check down or a shorter throw, take that. But I think it's much easier to dial a guy down who's naturally aggressive than to take a guy who does not really have an aggressive mindset and say, well, you got to make these throws.
That's what we always say about Marcus Mariota. People in the building would say, man, we try to get him to let it rip. And that was the phrase that was used, and he just wouldn't.
It's funny. My guess with Mariota, just to go off on a tangent because you mentioned it, I would bet I don't know Marcus Mariota. I think I met him one time. I don't know him at all. This is just a guess based on tape study over the years. I would bet that he never really sort of made the transition from the college game where the field is so spread to the NFL game where you had to make a lot of throws in much tighter windows. Because I remember watching him with Chip Kelly at Oregon, and he'd throw all these seam balls, and there were no defenders within 10 yards of the receiver. Yeah. And you can't throw seam balls in the NFL like that, because the hash marks are closer, and there's just more bodies. And my sense is he just never felt comfortable. It just didn't register that those were really viable throws. Yeah.
So that leads me to the Jaden Daniels thing. So, we talked a little bit about it, but what did you see like transitionally for him as the year went on and how they started with him and how plays were called to what he ended up doing?
The other factor, too, that Ward does not have, that Daniels did, Daniels also has the running ability. And, early on in a quarterback's career, that can be very beneficial. Because Daniels, I think he might have been their leading rusher last year, So not only with scrambles, but with the design quarterback run game. So that can, early on in a quarterback's career, that can be a big factor. But there's no question as a passer that he clearly improved as the season went on. He was willing to throw the ball between the numbers, made really good throws, saw it well, was tough in the pocket. Jane Daniels had a terrific season. The assumption is for a lot of people that he's just going to be great and great and great. But that's the same conversation we were having 1 year ago about C.J. Stroud. You never know. Believe me, all the teams in the NFC East and all the teams on the Commander's schedule are studying Jane Daniels in great, great detail. And, we'll see what happens. You just never know.
Greg Coell, NFL Films, NFL Matchup. Big Jeff dropped some weight.
He looks great.
His body looks great. Yeah. The way he's moving around, super quick. And he was in the backfield several times today. They tried a double reverse, and Calvin Ridley was running back the other way. Yeah. And Big Jeff was just standing there waiting for him. He is noticeably quicker.
Yeah, he looks great. There's a lot of, you know what, Don? There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of girth. Did you know that?
Oh, Coell.
Did you hear that coming in?
Him and Big Sweat. Him and Big Sweat.
He's not wrong. You're looking for length and girth, but it was just kind of a weird little press conference.
Girth out there, Don.
Hugh is killing me. Killing me.
You freeze.
A lot of length and girth.
Did
out
you
there.
have that on the bingo card for Coell today? Oh, man.
But
How different are they? Can they use Jeff, though, with
Oh, he was
maybe
all over
less
the place.
girth?
He was all over the place.
Yeah, well, he's just a great player. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Sweat obviously has had a great rookie season. He's kind of a fun-loving guy. He's got a great personality. They brought in a player, and again, he could be cut. Who knows? But they brought in Jahard Ward, and
he made a couple plays.
He's one of those guys that's been in the league for a long time. He's been with a lot of teams, but wherever he goes, he contributes. And I'm really curious to see how that works. The other thing I really noticed on the defense is that Oladejo was playing a lot of first team snaps with Key. They were basically rotating, first team snaps.
Last week you said he's body beautiful,
Oh,
which
my
I
God.
thought was a phrase, and then he lined up standing up on the edge right in front of me. I was like, Coell nailed that one.
Oh my God!
I mean,
yeah.
he looks like a stud
he
football
looks
player.
He
special.
looks the part. And
I told that to Coach Mack, and Coach Mack goes, he just needs reps.
yeah,
He's pretty raw, right?
I mean, raw is a relative term, but,
Right.
Obviously he only played really on the edge for about the last 8 or 9 games at UCLA last year, so he does not have a lot of experience playing on the edge.
Yeah.
But when I did his tape, I said he'd be an ascending player once he got to the league, and I think that's true. The other thing that really stood out to me, because I got a chance to talk with him, is just Cody Barton he just runs the show, and he is so smart. Talking to him, I mean, the guy is unbelievable. I mean, you need that guy. It's funny. I was talking to Mike Borgonzi, the GM, and he kept bringing up Nick Bolton with the Chiefs because that's where he was for the last 16 years. Mike, and he said, you need that guy, and Cody Barton is that guy because you've got to set the front. You've got to make sure the back end and the front's tied together. He said Cody Barton is that guy. He said Kenneth Murray couldn't do that. Kenneth Murray's probably a better athlete, but he couldn't do that. And, Cody Barton is just, and I could tell all the players on defense would go to Cody Barton and basically, as if they were asking, hey, what should we be doing? And he's just in charge.
So was Cody Barton that guy in Denver?
I think he became that guy last year, beginning week 5 or 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Got
who
it.
he is.
Gotcha.
Well, he's definitely a problem in pass.
So is.
He's
pro, which
got
is-
Cam's number.
He's a problem in pass pro, which is what they did not have last year at inside linebacker at all on any level.
Yeah. So, and it'll be interesting to see, right now James Williams is starting next to him. They do like Cedric Gray. We'll see how it all plays out. You don't know. But Williams, made the transition from safety in college to playing linebacker. He's made some mistakes in pass coverage because playing pass coverage as an underneath zone defender is totally different than playing it, a little more on the back end. It's two totally different things. So, we'll see. Time will tell.
More with Greg Coell, talking Titans football. He's been out at both padded practices, was out there Monday as well. But before we take a break, Dawn Davenport is going to open her prize call.
Oh, that's right. I got a giveaway.
Let's go, Babsy.
Yeah, it's Winning Wednesday. Here you go with the Nashville Sounds. So how about some tickets to see the Sounds host Jacksonville next Wednesday, First Horizon Park. First 1,000 fans will receive a Butch McCord jersey giveaway.
Jersey.
That's a jersey. It's
A
not
jersey, a
jersey.
jersey.
It's not it's a shirt with jersey-looking
Jersey.
attributes.
Okay. Well, thank you for correcting that.
You're
I thought-
welcome.
I just assumed it was a typo.
It's a
'cause
baseball
usually
thing.
We have that. A jersey.
Butch McCord was a famous Negro Leagues player.
Presented by Toyota, by the way. And the Sounds have HBCU night for a night of celebration and pride as they honor the rich history and culture of historically black colleges and universities. So go ahead and call right now, 615-737-1045, and you will win 2 tickets to see the Sounds host Jacksonville. Good luck. All right, might be time to upgrade some things in your home. Maybe you've really figured out that your windows stink with some of this heat that we have had to endure the last week. If you need new windows, if you need new doors, you need to call my friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville because they're the absolute best. Been in business for 100 years. They're celebrating that 100 years. Founded in 1925. This year, they've got lifetime warranties on their products. And then on top of it, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville backs up their work with warranty as well. A 10-year labor warranty, which is leading in the industry. They've got the staff in place to support you, the customer. They're the best. Shout out to my girl, Brittany. And they can make sure that you get a good deal, too. The Dawn deal. You got 2 more days for the Dawn deal in July. 60% off qualifying installations plus 0% APR for 36 full months. Call Pella 615-249-1910 or just schedule your free consultation online. Ask for the Dawn deal, PellaNashville.com.
3HL 1045, The Zone, Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Coming up tomorrow, Big Savage, Ramon Foster. Coell's doing his Thursday segment on Wednesday since he's in town.
Which is awesome.
We really appreciate that.
No, it's great to be with you guys.
Roger McCreary with an interception today off a batted ball from Cody Barton.
On an RPO, I believe.
Yeah,
looked like an RPO.
What are you seeing from McCreary as his career develops?
It's going to be interesting because McCreary is their slot corner. I don't think he had his best year a year ago, but he's been a good player.
He ended up outside a lot too, and that's where he gave up some plays.
Interesting thing is going to be Jarvis Brownley, because my sense, and I felt this way watching Brownley's tape in college as well, I think his best position will ultimately be slot. So, this is Brownley's last year of his rookie contract. McCreary, excuse me. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, again, I don't want to, we have a whole season to play. So, but, I think there could be a situation where they would let McCreary walk and move Brownley inside. But Brownley may have to play outside this year because we just don't know at this point about Ladarius Sneed.
Man, Sneed, man, this is
got
to get him. So, okay, well, you do kind of know what you're getting out of these safeties. How impressed were you with Winston and Amani back there?
Well, I think,
and Woods.
And Woods, yeah.
I mean, Woods and Hooker will be the starters.
Right.
I think if Winston continues to develop, I think they'll find a place for him to play snaps. I mean, it wouldn't be surprised if they place him what we call big nickel with three safeties.
Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me if they almost see Winston as a guy that could play, if you're going to play dime, is almost like your dime safety, where he can line up in multiple spots. Yeah. But that would all depend on his development in learning, the nuances of the defense, because you're not going to put a kid out there if you don't feel you can trust him.
Right.
Are they going to be able to get pressure off the edge without having to send people?
I think that's a question. I don't want to say that there's a definitive answer right now. It's a question. I mean, Draymond Jones, he's an interesting player because in college he was a three technique and a really good pass rusher as a three technique defensive tackle.
For those that don't know, three technique meaning?
Three technique is essentially a defensive tackle that lines up just outside of the offensive guard, just to the outside of the offensive guard. So he was a great interior pass rusher. Now, in the NFL, he's played both inside and outside, and he's lining up outside for the Titans. Obviously they have Key on the other side, but one thing I noticed in some of their sub fronts over these last couple of days is they moved Key inside to tackle and had Oladejo play outside. Maybe they're hoping that that's the way it can play out, but Oladejo's a rookie, so it's too early to say that for sure. But I'm sure they would love that because that's what a lot of teams like to do. A lot of teams call it either their cheetah front, their NASCAR front, where they just get their best pass rushers, regardless of size, in the game in their sub fronts to rush the quarterback.
Quick non-Titans question. Trey Hendrickson now holding in, I guess, is the new terminology where you report and you don't practice, but you miss the $50,000 fine every day. We know the stats, right? Sack leader last year. How good a player is he?
Really good. He's a power rusher. Power's the number one thing that you need to be a great pass rusher in this league. Because eventually, think of it this way, this is just physics. You have to get through the offensive tackle. Yeah. So, now, is it great to bend and have flexibility? Yes, of course, for sure. But at some point, you've got to get through the guy. So, I'm fortunate enough for the last 3 years to have gone to the O-Line Masterminds event in Frisco, Texas, that Duke Manyweather, Lane Johnson, Jeff Schwartz, Brandon Thorne, they do such a great job putting that whole thing together. So I've gotten a chance to talk to offensive tackles, and that's what they say. They say it's speed to power. If you can't do that, then you become easier to block because they just wait for you. You have to get through them eventually, so Hendrickson can do that.
Similar situation in Washington with Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry, I love that name. How good a player is that guy?
I think
he's a bunch of touchdowns last year.
Yeah, I think he's really good. I think my sense is, and I've obviously seen him quite a bit, I do stuff with the Eagles, and so I see the NFC East a lot too. I think he's really good and I don't know what he's asking for. I don't follow that closely, but I don't think people would put him, let's say, in the top 5 or 6 receivers in the game. And if he's asking for that kind of money, my guess is that Washington would not be willing to pay him that kind of money. Now, it'll probably get worked out eventually, unless they trade him. Who knows? Wow. But, I think he's good, but he's just, I don't think he's in the conversation of the Jeffersons, the Chases, the A.J. Browns, those guys, but he's their number one. So that's the thing. He's really important to them, but I don't think he's quite at that level in the conversation.
Interesting.
At Greg Coell on X. So 3HL bingo card we do in the last segment. These are weird things that were said during the show. And
oh boy, you mean like length and girth?
That may be on here. But that's kind of what we do here. And so without context, and then we try to explain if we remember. I'm going to release myself. Y'all remember that one?
That was Slay.
Oh, that was real.
Yeah.
For tailgating.
He's going to be done with rehab early so he can tailgate.
Yeah.
His goal is
to do a keg stand.
His goal is to keg stand.
What are you rehabbing from?
Knee replacement.
Oh, you had a knee replacement.
Yep. So Friday will be 5 weeks.
How's it doing?
It's good, man.
Because those can be a little tough.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, those can be a little tough.
Yes, they can.
Slay's like, believe me.
But I've been getting through it. So good PTs, and good doctors. So
good.
Yep.
Coach Mack said, "I'm not going to bloviate about something I didn't watch."
Bloviate.
Thank you, Coach.
We were talking about Cam Ward. He was not.
I'm not sure that Coach Mack would be using the word bloviate, but that might just be me.
Ron Slay, the knee didn't hurt your brain.
Yeah, that's what Coach Mack said.
That was what Coach Mack said. Listen, one thing I'm going to do is believe.
What was that?
That was you in a break. I forget what we were even talking about.
Well, I'm believing.
I don't remember.
Babsy? I was believing in Babsy. Oh, she was telling me about the Pop-Tart.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, shout out to Gator Mike. He brought us frozen strawberry Pop-Tarts.
That was a good way to do it, actually.
Yeah, because I never would have tried it until he literally delivered it right in front of me.
Slay's never had a Pop-Tart.
And it was great.
Let me get these 3 real quick.
I don't think I've had one since I've been 5 years old.
There you go.
You got to get back on the train, Coell.
3 more real quick. I don't need a curtain. I'm running through the quad like Frank the Tank. That was Slay threatening to go naked. Don't tell everybody your quarterback is mentally fragile.
That would be me.
Damn
it, Hugh.
Publicly said that he told the defense coordinator to take it easy on the quarterback. He needs confidence.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
Right, okay.
And then he talked about this. There's no doubt you need length and girth in this league, which goes to Hugh Freeze and then Coell. Thanks for coming in the studio. Great to see you, brother.
Great to be with you guys. This was a lot of fun.
Appreciate you and safe travels back to Philly.
Appreciate that.
Real quick, shout out. Can I just steal?
Yeah, you got
presented by your mom and him.
Yes, Coach Bell at Clarksville Academy Football. I met him and some of the staff at Titans today. What up, Coach Bell? Thanks for listening to our show. Nice to meet you.
They were standing over by you and Hadley.
Good luck this season.
There you go. All right, we appreciate you guys including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be you unless you was getting a shout out to. I had somebody.
Come on, Slay.
You threw me off. Golly. Well,
Coell.
To Greg Coell for coming through. How about that? Oh, Scoop Richardson on your baby.
On your baby.